Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your charming, self-proclaimed yet still humble host, Mukluk, and today we are back in the wonderful world of Guild Wars 2, which is Tyria, by the way. Did you know that? Hello there. Hello, good sir. Hello, Jix. Welcome. T-Comas, I see you. Jabbers, as well as... Who was the other one? No, it was Jabbers. Jabbers, thank you for the resub during the intro. Appreciate that. Welcome. Muk, can you use the Bowie Granawi mini bond trick on my hands? What? That's the universal greeting. Ba weep grana weep ninny bond. Ba weep grana weep ninny bond. Ba weep grana weep ninny bond. Yeah, that's the universal greeting. That's not some magic for hands. But I said it, so you know what? If it works for you, sure. Uptime, we just started. We just started. The uptime is 15 minutes. Morning, Mega Chat. How's your post-con leg recovery going? Dude, my feet still hurt. They're a little bit better every day, but I got up this morning, you know, swung my legs out of bed, stood up, and I'm like, yep, they still sting. So I beat the crap out of them. For sure. Oh, that was awesome. 4 lines of stuff. When I'm sitting, though, it's fine. But, yeah, that first day where I was, like... just standing for like 20 hours or something. Destroyed them. Muck KCD2 DLC next week. Oh man. Alright, KCD2 was a fantastic, amazing game. It was also insanely long. Would I have to like replay the whole game to enjoy the DLC? Kind of like Rogue Trader? I wonder?
Hello everyone.
Hello. Who is that? Almighty Chaos. Appreciate you. Interior again, my favorite vacation. Yup. DLC is second map. So you can maybe just load your old save file. Hi, I made a little sketch of the virtual business card you mentioned a few days ago. Can I share the link? I mean, yeah, if it's like an image or a link, I'll click it. I have to be cautious with links. Or if you just want to send me the image on Discord, I can look at it via that. But if it looks like some website I've never heard of, I'm going to be cautious. Do you know of the Muck Arena? Hey, Muck Arena. Yeah. Do a hardcore KCD2 run. A hardcore one? They do have some very challenging things that you can enable that are not related to hardcore. Things like you don't have a map, you sleepwalk, so when you wake up, you appear in random areas. And because you don't have a map, you don't know where you are, things like that. Well, hi, Jada. There was another one that was just called, You Have a Tapeworm, and it was like, food you eat is less effective. I think there was one that was like dropped on head as a child and you gain XP more slowly. There was a lot. Hey Mike, I've just started doing legendaries. I'm struggling with Mystic Clovers. What would be the best way to grind them if I don't like PvP content? Wizard's Vault. You can absolutely get some in here. In the Wizard's Vault. There's 60 in there right now for me. The Strike Merchant, the PvP Merchant, the Fractal Merchant, Raid Merchant. They drop from Leyline Anomaly. You can just farm money doing other things and then buy the Mystic Coins off the trading post. There's a lot. Oh, hold on, sorry, let me do a clarification there. When I said buy them, I was talking about buying coins and then, like, changing them into clovers. Because you can forge coins into clovers with, like, it's like 3 to 1 on average. So, just to clarify that. You can get clovers in here, too. But there is a Mystic Forge recipe where you throw in some items, including a Mystic Coin, and there's, like, a chance you get back a clover. So anywhere where you can get coins, you technically could get clovers from that as well. World v World and Drizzlewood also. Yep, yep. Good morning, American. Good morning, Windshark. That's how you address me now? American. What are clovers used for? I'm 5 days old in the game. What's up, Jada? There's some very end game crafting things that people might want to make. And you might need like 70 or 80 clovers among the many other things to craft it. So, like, if they're trying to make a legendary sword or staff or something, they might need a small stack of clovers to build it. So it's a crafting material. But it is one that you get from specific areas. Nothing I need to worry about for a long time? Correct. Basically, if you happen to get yourself a Mystic Coin or a Mystic Clover, put it in your material storage and just hang on to it until, someday far down the line where you may need it. But don't worry about actively seeking them. Small 77 for some. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Wizard's Gobbler. Trophy Bank. Guys, look at me! I'm so curvy! Just doing all the converts. Oh, I need to get the antique summoning stones as well. Let's see. Arborstone. Any VPN recommendations? Nord has a lot of commercials. I don't know. No, he said the thing. Alright, there's that. And now just got to go through the ults at the treasure chests. I saw you before. Are you the one they call pirate software? No, he's got way more viewers than me. I am Mukluk, just like it says on the channel name. I've been told I look somewhat like Jim Carrey. I've never been told I look like Pirate. Like, he has that long, majestic hair. I have receding hair. Huge difference. I've got a lot of unidentified stuff on this guy. Did you work at Blizzard? I did not. True story, though. My dad worked in VoIP, voice over IP, and he did one job for Blizzard when I was a kid. At that time period, he got hired to go in and set up all their phone system, which I'm sure it has changed 1,000 times since he did that work. But while he was there, he was like, "Oh, my son likes your little games." Your little games. And they're like, "Oh, we'll give him this stuff." And they gave him like a pile of t-shirts and keychains and some posters and stuff like that. So when he got home, he just unloaded all of that swag on me and just gave me all of that stuff. It was really cool as a kid to get that. Like the, hang on, I'm going to move my camera around for a minute. A sec here. That Illidan poster right there, as well as that Warcraft 3 poster over there, that was from that trip that he did where he just brought back a lot of swag. And it was really neat. It was really neat because, as a kid, my dad working on phones was like the most boring thing to talk about. But then he just shows up one day and he's like, "Hey, I went to work at a place you know of." And he just unloads all this stuff. You are Pirate Soft. His father worked at Blizzard too. No, my dad worked at like Cisco. And they just fixed the phone system at Blizzard one day. He was there literally one evening. But brought back some swag. Hey. Oh. Ship just came in and then went out. You look like if Matthew Perry was copy-pasted onto Jim Carrey. Matthew Perry. Hold on, I gotta see him. Oh, the guy from Friends. Okay, that's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. So he technically worked at Blizzard? Sure. Hi, I'm kind of new to the game and just reached level 80 and finished getting my ES. My question is, how do I get gold in this game as a new player? I feel so poor, it's horrible. Alright, sure. Doccha, there are countless ways to get gold in this game, right? There is no one best way. You could just grind PvP and you're making gold every hour because you're not spending any. You could just grind World v World. You could just play the trading post. Literally just stand there, buy low, sell high for hours on end and play the game like it's an Excel spreadsheet. You could go farming and just kill things for hours, all right? There's no wrong way to do it. So the thing is, what you want to do is find something that you don't hate because it's a game. It's not meant to be work. What I'm doing literally right now is how I get my gold. I take a bunch of characters that I am not actively playing, and I leave them at treasure chests. And one time per day, I log into them, open the treasure chest, and log out. It takes less than, it's sometimes like seconds per character, sometimes a minute. But all this, it just gives me a whole bunch of income on my account for like 10 minutes of work a day. And this is how I prefer to do it. If you want a guide to how I get my gold, do !daily in the chat, and there's a video that comes up with more information on what I'm doing now. But please understand, it is not the only way to do it. There's so many ways. But that's my thing. Muck secretly owns ArenaNet. You don't see the CEO in the same room as him. I don't know about that. Muck sells private Asura dances. Oh my gosh. Since all tried out Elite Spec videos are on YouTube, did you make a tier list for fun and design? Man, I don't know. There's a few different tier lists I do. For example, for the builds I played, the one that was the most powerful, the one that was the strongest at what it did, is either Amalgam at DPS, because it was just completely overtuned, or the Paragon at support. Because it could, like, heal through the most extreme damage field without using half its buttons. It was like a joke. But if I was grading it based on fun, I might put Paragon further down. It was very effective. I don't know if I think it was, like, super fun. If you only have one or two alts, is there a most preferred spot to park them for chests? If you have a limited access to the world, I would say whatever chest you can reach. Like, there's a jumping puzzle underneath Lion's Arch. You can put one there, the pirate one. However, if you've got access to the whole world and you only have one person to park somewhere, the spot in Crystal Oasis that's in that video, there's 3 treasure chests there. So by logging into that one character, it's boop, 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 3 huge chests, and you're done. And it gives you a ton of resources. So that's the #1 spot. #2 spot, I don't know. Oh wait, I remember now, you're one of the top bullies against Elementalists. I have a YouTube short that blew up, and it says, what are Elementalists known for? And I didn't even say it. I just said, chat, what is the #1 thing Elementalists are known for? And like 200 people said dying. And I was like, this isn't me making this up. This is a reputation they have. So I would say I very minimally bullied Elementalists. I think that they kind of do that to themselves. Mike, did you play Path of Exile 2 already? Yeah, when it first became available, I played quite a bit of it. I haven't played it in like the last month. Currently playing a lot of Tempest. It is squishy. Yeah, Elementalist has some of the lowest base hit points of any class, so it's more fragile. Hello, chat. Hi, Zlotty. I'm an LE player, and I will admit we get one-shot a lot. Yeah. Guardians are also extremely low hit points, but they have so many ways of giving themselves ages, sometimes they don't feel squishy. I play a warrior that always dies, so they're actually an elementalist with sword and shield. What's your take on PoE 2? I mean, I only played the first build of it, so I would say I did have fun, but, you know, it's a lot of work to make a, like, Path of Exile, they made so much free content updates for that game. Like, it's staggering, right? Like, just the Heist League, you know? Just pick one. Heist League or Syndicate, like, those were a lot of work. So it's like, when you play PoE 2, it's like, you know, and you try to compare it to PoE 1 without, like, and then with PoE 1 having its, you know, 30 mini expansions, it's like, wow, PoE 2 has so little content, and it's a steep hill to climb. It's kind of like if Guild Wars 2 were to make a Guild Wars 3, you'd be mentally, like, comparing it to Guild Wars 2 with its 10 years of sporadic updates, and it's like, oh man, this might have a lot less content, and it's like, so making a sequel to something really big like that is always a challenge. I will say that, you know, some of the stuff about it, like the way that they did skill gems was pretty fun. I don't know if I think it's better, but it's fun. The way that, like, they did items, WASD movement, stuff like that. Like, there was quite a few things I did really like about it. Are music instrument macros hard to set up? I have never made a music instrument macro. I do know of a overlay that you can use that will allow you to have the game play music under certain conditions. Like, for a while, whenever I mounted on my Siege Turtle, it played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song. That was my Windows. However, if you're talking about just in-game instruments, the person I would ask is Loranity. She's in the music guild, and she's, like, really passionate about that stuff. So if there's a way to do it, I would ask her. I do not know for sure if that's a thing. People always say that about any new game. Why no content compared to this game that was out for a decade? Yeah. Yep. Thanks, I'll ask Laura. Sure. I hope she has an answer. I'm curious if ANET will tease some of the other X-Pack perks in the next few weeks, like the new homestead and some of the skimmer updates and stuff. I think it would be good for business if they did. Misty says, hi, I just wanted to pop in and say thanks to your guys. I'm new to Guild Wars 2, just got level 80 a few days ago. Nice! Well, I hope you continue enjoying the game like we do. But if you've got any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Didn't they post a screenshot of the new homestead a few days ago? They did, yeah. Let me... wait, what's going on? I've got so many alerts going off right now. What is this?
Mukluk bobble, mukluk dance in Dino dance, mukluk dance in mukluk bobble.
Dancing and bobbles. Did anyone respond? Sorry, hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Give me 1 minute here. This should only take a moment. I did a gems giveaway on Twitter. ArenaNet gave me a bunch of gem codes to give away, and I did it on Twitter. And one of the people that won one of the codes finally responded. I'm glad they did. I was about to give up on them. And I need to send them that code, which I am doing right now. Let's see, to do and paste. Okay, cool. And that is done. I can check that off my list of things to do. Let's make sure these get sent out. All right. Kidmat, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. Welcome. Let's see. Okay, so we were talking about the new homestead thing. Let me see, because that was posted while I was out in Seattle. So I actually saw that amidst a bunch of other stuff when I got back. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Do this. Let's see. Right click, new tab. So we've got this thing, which appears to be a massive like galleon ship, but it's like just tipped onto its nose, and then they've made floors out of it. And there's a thing here that says kitchen pantry. This says common space indoor garden. This is open patio lounge. And then there's a few pictures here. So, I mean, this very unique. Like, I dig it. Kind of reminds me of Lion's Arch 2.0 that was made out of the boats. And they wrote, even heroes need a hearth to rest between all that adventuring. It's almost time to peek at homestead updates on the horizon. Expect a blog and live stream in the upcoming week. And that was posted August 30th, which was like 3 days ago. Yeah. It looks really neat. For now, put this back over here. Did they have any other crazy posts while I was gone? Update your bank. Got you. Bank has permanent lounge passes. Whimsical wing. Okay, so that was like a sale. Which one did you have the most fun playing? Oof. August 28th patch notes. Was I in town during that? 28th. I don't know if I covered these or not. Hang on. Oh, that's almost nothing. Okay. Alright. And was there anything above the homestead thing? That's July 15th. That's a pinned message. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm caught up, unless they had some blogs or something. Day 18 of asking Muck to try the build. Hi. Hi. Ninja evac. Screenshot of the homestead, supposedly. What is Le build? What is he? He wants me to play Sword Berserker. And I'm not really sure why. But that's what he wants. Screenshot of the homestead, supposedly. What is that? Maybe? Not sure. I'm not going to show it on stream because I don't know if this is a leak or not. And I have to be careful with those, but I'll leave the link in chat if other people want to click it. Was your family as tired as you were after returning home? My wife thinks she's coming down with something. Despite the fact that I'm the one that shook like 200 people's hands, my wife thinks she might have got the con crud. So maybe I'll get it from her since we live together. But she's starting to sniffle a cough and stuff like that. I just have sore feet from all the walking around. Gabe is fine. Gabe went to school this morning, so he's at school right now. I think that's it. Yeah, as far as tired, yeah, like the day that we got back, dude, we all slept hard. Yeah, we were all tired because, you know, going out there and coming back both days, we got up at 4 a.m. at the local time, went to the airport, waited an hour or two on the plane, and then flew 5 hours to get to or from Seattle. So, yeah, it's like, you know, it was noon and we had been up for 8 hours already when we, you know, got there pretty much both times. So the travel time was pretty tiring. When we went out there, I slept like 2 hours at home and I was hoping to sleep on the plane, but it was so noisy that I pretty much couldn't. I think I have, hang on a second. Hold on, I think I've got a video that shows the noise. And like, I've flown on a lot of flights. Some are pretty quiet inside the cabin, and some aren't, okay? Let's see. I think I asked my wife, could you record a few seconds of camera footage, like looking out the window? Because I want to use it for a video. And... okay. So, this was the footage. This is going over the Rocky Mountains. That noise, that was the whole time. That noise was 5 hours. It was 5 hours of that noise. So I managed to like get a few little naps in. I think I've got another video as well. Hang on. Yeah. The mountains are loud this time of year. Yeah. So managed to get a few naps in, but for the most part, I gave up. I could not sleep on it. We were, it was just the engines were really loud, so they had like little TVs in the seats, and there was like some movies on there. It was kind of weird. Like they had John Wick 1 and John Wick 4, and then they had Harry Potter 5, 6, 7, but not the other John Wicks or the other Harry Potters. So like between the two flights, I watched Sonic the Hedgehog, which I'd never seen, Minecraft movie, which I hadn't seen. Don't recommend that one. Sonic was fun. And then I watched John Wick 4. And then I realized halfway through it, I was like, I never saw John Wick 3, I think. However, it's pretty much the same thing. Everyone's trying to kill Keanu, so it's okay. So I watched a handful of movies just to get through it. Earplugs helps. Yeah. I had earbuds, but not really earplugs. But it was fun. Got through it. I need to have 7 sleep meds to sleep in a plane. Wow. That's, you have a problem. I'm not comfortable taking that in the presence of strangers. 26-hour flights are a pain. 26... Where do you fly that it's a 26-hour flight? Like, that's just around the whole planet. Watch you getting the recognition for all your hard work on stream was so nice to see. Congrats to you, Miss Muck. Thank you, Jersey. Yeah, I honestly, dude, that was a core memory. Like, going to a place, like, God, okay, hold on. There's so many words trying to escape my mouth right now. Up until going to that thing, I had been recognized outside one time. Now, granted, I don't go outside much, but it was at the Renaissance Fair. One guy recognized me. There, it was like within the confines of that one building, I was a celebrity. And it was crazy. Like, dude, my ego was, it was huge. It was crazy. But yeah, of course, it was a lot of fun. I was the center of attention for like 3 hours, and everyone wanted to talk to me and stuff like that. It was really fun. But the next day at PAX, everything was back to normal. No one knew me at PAX. I was back to just being, I wasn't Mukluk anymore. I was just Michael again. But it was really cool. It was definitely a core memory. Getting to visit like the staff and stuff. Like the studio tour was awesome, but the getting like my personal favorite part was getting to talk to and meet the staff that like make the game. Like this is a treasured photo now. Like I asked Ruby and David, I was like, can I get a picture with you two before the night ends? And all of these guys like swarmed over and we got this big picture. Like there's Josh Groucheroo right there. And a lot of these folks I didn't know before I went, but like I met them. Like that's Logan, that's Travis, that's Gerard. Some of you may recognize him. He's Essence of Luck, who sometimes pops into the stream chats. That's Kent. He does like a lot of the writing. There's Roy in the background. That's Darkbringer right there. He pops into the stream chats quite frequently. And then like half of these, I don't know. Obviously Ruby. Chloe. I think that's Amy. We met them there. I didn't know them before. But yeah, it was really, really awesome getting to talk to the devs. Did you find out what the hell's the Conduit icon? No, never talked about Conduit there. Poor Mug looked both amped and drained at the same time after that. Well, when the event ended, it was 10 p.m. Seattle time, and we had gotten up to go to the airport at 1 a.m. Seattle time. So I had been awake almost 21 hours and standing for almost 16 of it. So yeah, like I was kind of like in a zombie state where like I was fine and they were doing like an after party and I wanted to go, but my wife and my son were basically like, my wife literally had her hand on my arm and was pulling me outside. She's like, it's over. We're not doing the after party. We're going. I'm like, oh man. And I wanted to. And then, like, we get back to the hotel room, and it just kind of all hit me at once, and I crashed. I was, like, thunk. It was like the adrenaline ran out or something, and I just was like, bam, on the bed. And then woke up the next morning, it was time to go to PAX. I'm like, why do my feet hurt so bad? Dude doesn't go outside, then does it for 48 hours straight. Yep. Yeah, it was really, really fun. Wish I could have done the after party, but still, I got to do and see so many really awesome things while I was there, so no regrets on that. I would love to get to do it again sometime. It was funny, like, PAX was almost like whatever after the Guild Wars 2 thing, you know? Getting to be a celebrity for an evening and then just go to PAX. PAX is just like, I guess. And at Mukluk time. She was, dude, she was. She was like, you know, oh, we gotta go. And I'm like, that much fun. Because also, a big thing is, like, there at the end, when the guests were starting to get kind of shooed out of the place, it was the first time I got to talk to Ruby and David and some of the other devs, because they were just, like, swarming the whole time. If people weren't running all around them, they were having to run around to keep the show going. And so I was getting to talk to the people who made the game, some of them, for the first time that day. And then my wife's like, it's time to go. Did you do the Superman pose in front of your wife and be like, how's it feel being with a celebrity? No, I did not. The equivalent of a normie running a marathon is not going outside for 48 hours. I was standing most of it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I was giving part of my body a workout. Also, to be fair, Seattle is like this. So, like, getting back to the hotel was, like, literally uphill the entire way. So it's like I had to go on a hike to get back to the bed. Like, dude, like, you trip and fall in Seattle, you're gonna roll 3 blocks and fall into the ocean. It's crazy. So it was tiring just getting around. I did okay, but yeah, my feet hurt. It's just true. There are way too many games on here I want to see Muk play. How many votes do I get? On each game on the recommended game list, like Horus, you can either vote on it or just leave it alone. The point is that you can updoot anything on there one time per thing. Lesson learned, don't bring wife and offspring next time. So they had a blast, but I legitimately asked them. I said, if we were to ever do this same thing again, and you don't know what you're expecting, would you want to go again? And my son said no. My son said he loved the studio tour. You know, when I got that private tour at ArenaNet HQ, because he got to see where and how they make video games. That was awesome for him. But the community event was mostly adults talking to each other. He was bored out of his mind. He was just sitting in a lawn chair for like 3 hours. And then he was the youngest person there by a landslide. He's 13. And then the PAX, at first he was really excited to go to PAX, but then we went to PAX, and for a while he was just standing with me while I was talking to developers for really long stretches of time. And he's like, I'm really bored, Dad. And I'm like, okay, so me and Anna agreed to split up and meet back later on. And so she went with Gabe and let him go to whatever he wanted, and she followed him. And then I kept, schmoozing with the devs. However, while they were trying to, look at stuff he wanted to look at, the lines. At everything that looked really cool, there was a massive line. And some of them, if you didn't buy the right kind of PAX ticket, you couldn't even stand in the line. Like Nintendo had a booth for a new Kirby game, and if you didn't buy the Super Ultra Mega Supreme ticket to get into PAX, you weren't allowed to try it out. So there was a massive line, and it was pay to win. So after getting to go around and do whatever he wanted for like 45 minutes, he was disappointed. He was like, all right, I'm done. Everything is a massive line. I can't even interact with the cool stuff. There's just like, a sea of people. I can't see anything. He was done. So he did not enjoy PAX. He did not enjoy the community event just simply because he was bored. And so while they were off doing their thing, I was kind of learning how to schmooze and mingle with devs, because for me, I was both there as a nerd enjoying myself and also as a streamer trying to make like business connections. So like, hey, I love the look of your game. If you need any streamer work, would you consider me? Blah blah blah. And I was trying to make those connections. But we definitely kind of figured out that, like, one, if we were going to do this again in a year or 5 years or something, Gabe would rather stay at Grandpa's house and stay home. The second thing is my wife loved going to the community event and talking to people. She loved the tour. She hated PAX for the same reasons he did. So she said if I went with you to Seattle again for one of these, during the PAX portion, I might stay at the hotel and not even go to that. But I would love to go to the Guild Wars 2 stuff again. She really enjoyed both of the Guild Wars 2 things we went to. So that's it. I mean, and then at the community thing, you know, she was ready to leave like 3 hours before I was, so I kind of got dragged out of there. She said next time we would just, you know, get separate taxis back to the hotel or wherever. So we learned a lot, but it was still awesome. The moving is good. Standing still is what causes the foot pain and blood clots. Wear special blood circulation socks if needed. I've never heard of such a thing. I've never needed it sitting in my chair all day. How stinky was PAX? Was there visible BO lines? You know, a lot of folks joked about that, like, oh, you're gonna see how stinky nerds can be, stuff like that. It was fine. Maybe it was just, even despite the fact that we were in there in, despite the fact that we were in there in like a literal sea of people, there was maybe 3 that I walked past and I was like, oof. And I was like, okay, that guy either just farted like right as he passed me and I got crop dusted, or oof. So there was 2 or 3 that kind of hit me. But everyone else of the like thousands that I walked past, it was like whatever. But it was a very big open venue. So, you know, maybe it was just the circulation was really good. Maybe they're getting better deodorant? Maybe. And then there was also the, like, again, unless I'm incubating or I catch it from my wife now that she seems to be coming down with something. I also got lucky and I didn't catch the crud. Like, I could have worn a mask, I could have, like, not shaken hands and stuff like that, but I was like, look, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna get to enjoy being a celebrity for one day, I'm gonna shake anyone's hands who wants to shake my hand. So I shook like 100 people's hands. So, I feel kind of fortunate that I didn't catch anything, it seems. We'll see. I feel like that's just being around a lot of people, there's always 3 that stink. I mean, maybe. Shion says, I recently started watching a series of trying out builds and really enjoying them. Oh, thank you! There's always more on the way. I actually just posted there were 9 videos from the beta that was last week, and we just posted the last one this morning, which was Conduit. So we've got all 9 of those done. So no more beta videos for a bit after that. Let's see. I need my breakfast, Chad. I'm taking you to my kitchen. Behave yourself. Are we on the tiny TV? The trick to antiperspirant is put it on before going to bed, then it stays on the next day. I mean, I just usually, anytime I get out of the shower, I put on deodorant. Would have gone through so much hand sanitizer. Can you avoid kissing your wife while getting the conflu? Mission impossible. Yeah, we usually still do hugs. When one of us is like runny nose, we usually just do hugs. I watched Conduit, it sounded painful, so I shall be avoiding that. Thank you for that. All I could say is it wasn't for me, right? I think it's completely possible that there's some folks out there that love Conduit, but they do seem to be a minority. For example, there was a vote thing on Twitter, Guild Wars 2, and it's like, what was your favorite elite spec of these 3? And you can see Conduit was way less than at least those 2. So it does seem that there is a chunk of people that did not enjoy Conduit, and I'm definitely among them, but I'm not a Rev main either. But I also didn't enjoy Gale Shot, and Gale Shot in that vote thing was really, really high. So a lot of folks seem to enjoy that.
I have 3 level 80 characters ready to go, but I'll hold my breath on Amalgam to see if it gets adjusted.
So with Amalgam, better get adjusted, okay? It was doing absurd damage. Hang on, there's something I'm looking for. What was... Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can find something.
Birds. How are you today?
Hi, Birdtree. Let's see, where is... I'm going to my YouTube history. I'm looking for the Amalgam video we watched. Bears? Damn it, what was the name of that video? give me a minute. Found it. Okay. So, they have to nerf amalgams from what you saw. All right, this is 8 amalgams versus strike boss. Okay. Look at the health bar. Done. 8 seconds. That's it. It's over. Yeah. So, what was the DPS? Now that there's 2 targets there, but 170k, sorry, 180k, 180k, 179k, 176k, 173k, 173k, 166k. Yeah, I mean, yeah, amalgam needs to be nerfed by over half. Now, the question is not, did you enjoy amalgam's numbers? Don't think about that. I'm hoping that those will be gone. The question is, did you enjoy the mechanics? If you enjoyed the mechanics of amalgam, that's a success. But if you just only enjoyed it because big numbers, that could definitely change. But the question is, did you like the buttons of it? And I thought the buttons were pretty good. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. But it is a pure DPS. That's all it does. 166k button slacking. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like Paragon. I kind of think Paragon might get its healing nerfed a bit. It was really easy using only half my buttons to heal through the extreme damage field with Paragon. And with Evoker, I went in and just died instantly from the aura. It was so fragile. So it wouldn't surprise me if Paragon healing output got nerfed a bit. So, we'll see. I hope they take your feedback on not detonating spirits. Me too. I have no idea if they will, but me too. I'm in love with Gale Shot. It was the only class I truly enjoyed. That's good. I mean, that's one of those things where, like, I looked at it and I didn't like it, but at the same time I can be like, all right, I'm not the target audience. I bet there will be other people that like this. Gale Shot, I think, might have been a hair overtuned. It would not surprise me to see if its damage gets slightly nerfed, but nowhere near what Amalgam deserves. If I were to start playing today, how difficult is it to get into the game? Playing and understanding the game, getting to raids and dungeons and the like. Not bad at all, Viserys. You've got folks like me that are nerds and have made a lot of guide videos over the years, so it's more approachable than ever. But yeah, they do not raise the max level, so the max level is still what it was so long ago. So it does not take you very long to get to max level, and then there's just a whole mountain of content waiting for you. And you can choose what you want to get into. I, for example, have one video, which I'm going to link in the chat right now, called I Just Hit Level 80, Now What Do I Do, that kind of addresses that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us, either here or I'm going to link our Discord. We have a questions channel and a Guild Wars 2 channel on our Discord. And, you know, people can put anything they want in there, and we'll answer it as soon as possible. Just try to make it easier for y'all. Let's see. Let's do some Auric while we're chatting. West 108. Okay, 108 is full. Filter out 108 IP. West 236. That one works. I posted in Discord general chat the demo business card. It's a YouTube link. That's pretty snazzy. Or placeholder. Some other stat 10 million. That's really cool. That is really neat. Mukluk here. That's pretty slick. Yeah, there's definitely a handful of small things I would change on this, and I'm not planning to go outside again anytime soon, but that is pretty slick. You did good. Is there South Lane people in this? I don't... On site would work, IRL not so much due to numbers. Yeah, if I was gonna have a physical card, it would have to have a few basic things on it, and then like maybe a QR code that goes to a web page with my stats on it. And then the web page would update constantly, right? Like Twitch followers, YouTube subscribers, average viewers, Twitter followers, stuff like that. So, like, if I could just get, you know, somehow API all of that and have that all in there at once, that would be really cool. Because, to be fair, there's a lot of folks that would probably go up to people at cons and be like, oh, hi, I'm a streamer. Can I get free stuff and special treatment? And while there's nothing wrong with asking that, at the same time, it's like, yo, I want to show, like, yo, I am serious about this. Hey, we res. Boom! 4 people up. Get up. Alright, frog's dead. But yeah, I learned a lot. Like, it was kind of a trial by fire, right? When I went to PAX and I was like figuring out how to talk with like the devs and stuff like that, I learned a lot. And so it was like, at each booth, I was doing far better and I was far less awkward. So if I ever did that again, like, one, there'd be more stuff I would bring with me, like some sort of business card or even just like a pad of paper. But yeah, there was a lot I learned. But all in all, I ended up making like 8 contacts, I think, that sounded like they were, like, I'd say 6 of them sounded super excited to work with me. And then 2 were kind of like, oh yeah, maybe. But if I'm able to get like a sponsored stream or 2 out of that, that would make it way more likely I do something like this again, because that would help pay for it. What is Seattle weather like? The whole time I was there, it was like, it was perfect. Like, it was like short sleeve weather, a slight breeze the whole time. It was overcast, so the sun wasn't in our eyes, but it never actually rained. Like, it was honestly perfect weather for just like being outside the whole time we were there. I don't know if we're gonna finish this on time. Oh, nice, we did. Nice, nice, nice. Just bring a piece of paper that says, I am Muck the streamer, give contact info, please. Yeah, money, please. Morning, Muck. How was Zeta HQ? Picks look cool. More importantly, do we get LE buffs? I got the chance to talk to some devs about some random topics. LE did not come up, but I had minutes with the devs. It's like, I talked to one guy about UI, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta ask about something UI related. And I recommended to him that he tweak how the Troubadour UI is. You know, like the thing with the notes where some people think it's 4 notes and some people think it's 6 notes, but it's actually 3 notes. I recommended they change that. Now, They might just completely ignore me. Jesus, oh my god. Alright, doing a AoE res. They might completely ignore me, but I did recommend that. And then I talked to one of the writers about Bavanisos, and I talked about how a lot of people think Lextalion is just they reused a raid boss, and the information on like why Lextalion is there needs to be more in your face, because it's actually really, really cool, but it's so hidden that when most people get to Lex, they're like, oh, they just recycled something. And I was like, it needs to be more like in your face before you get to the guy. I also told them, I don't know why Bavanisos is a big brown block on the map until you zoom in that much, and asked them if they could change that. And they explained why it was that way. And then I was like, well, it's annoying. They're like, okay, well, maybe we should change that. So it's like, I got to, there was one guy that was, he's like, oh, I'm doing the background environment for the push map. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then the feedback I gave him was, it's really, really dark. And he's like, okay, I've heard that from a few people. And I was like, no, just to kind of stress it, like, it made me, for the first time in like 5 years, turn on standardized character models because I couldn't see what anyone was doing. He's like, oh, okay, that's worse than I thought. So, it's like, I had talks with a few people about what they personally specialized in. And it was really awesome getting to talk with them, and they seemed to actually care about my opinion, which, you know, felt awesome. Kind of like making a forum post, and the devs respond like, oh shoot, yeah, we'll look at that. But I didn't just have like all of ArenaNet in front of me, and they're like, so, what should we fix? And I'm like, Elementalist. Like, that didn't happen. Hi, Micah Chat. Hi, Goddess. Did you hear back from David about plushies? No. And David told me that that wasn't like his thing, but he would try to kind of grease a few wheels. What about the music volume on the Troubadour instruments? They fixed that before I even went to Seattle, Foxy. They moved the volume from the instruments off of the effects volume and put it on player instrument volume. So if you turn up player instrument volume while you're playing Troubadour, you will hear all the instruments. They did reuse a raid boss, but a bit more. You're right. They reused the model, but it wasn't just copy paste, drop, here you go. Like, there was thought put into it, but it looks like there wasn't thought put into it because they didn't really talk about it. Didn't see an update since the YouTube video. Yeah, when I posted that video, I actually immediately pinned a comment because they had, like, they fixed it right before I posted the video, but the video was getting made for a few days. One thing you like and one thing you dislike about Gale Shot. I like that it makes some people happy. I dislike that I am not some people. I mean, I've said this many times, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but to answer your question, Gale Shot's an archer. We already had shortbow. We already had longbow. If they wanted to fix archery on Ranger, they could have just tweaked one of the existing bows. But then they gave us a third bow. A bowier bow, if you will. And its abilities aren't even different. It literally has rapid fire. It literally has the untamed ambush arrow. It literally has caffeine-free barrage. It literally has jump backward, shoot forward from shortbow. Like, it's not even anything new. It's just, it's an archer. And because we got that, we didn't get something else. So I feel like it's the only class, you know, Ranger, that didn't get an elite spec. Now that's just my thoughts on it. You know, some people are really, really happy with it. I mean, but we're just kind of like, you can't even like skin the main weapon. So you're gonna have a whole fleet of archers with the exact same bow graphic. So yeah, it's just not my thing. I feel like we missed out on getting an elite spec because they just made archery in the third way. Stop playing Guild Wars 2. I will quit Guild Wars 2 tonight, and I will not play it again until the next time I open the game. I typically play it on Tuesdays. Can't skin Blades, Bladesworn, Sword, or Mech. True. It'll be the same situation. Lex uses a lot of the mechanics Gore says too. Similar ones, yeah. But they are the same type of creature, right? It's kind of like an Earth Elemental in this zone is the same as an Earth Elemental in that zone. Lextalion and Gorseville are both a collection of tormented souls smashed together, and apparently that creature is what happens in Tyria when those conditions are fulfilled. But yeah, they just... I think they could have done a better job explaining how he came to exist. Like, I picked up every bit of lore paper I could find on the way there, but didn't find a reason that it made sense until I talked to Laura for an hour. And the big thing that I was missing is I did not understand how the, what's that place called that makes the Titan? The Titan Forge, or the Titan Smithy, whatever it is? I didn't understand how that place worked. And that was the missing information I needed, because I didn't play Guild Wars 1, to understand how Lextalion came to be. The Foundry of Failed Creations. Alright, there you go. I'll stop drinking tonight until I wake up next as well. There you go. We can all quit our bad habits tonight. Until tomorrow. Use the way station. If you didn't play Guild Wars 1, you totally lost on that topic. Right. Like, for example, I thought, all through Janthier, I thought Titans were basically giant Earth Elementals. Like, just really old, ancient Earth Elementals. Didn't realize there was more to it than that. And I get that now, after talking with Laura. Not because something in the game told me. I'll stop ecto gambling until tomorrow. Am I talking to Windshark or Charmon? Why do you spell it Guild Wars Tuesday? Is it that like Tuesday? Why are you so judgmental about my made-up spelling that doesn't work? Just for that, tomorrow is Guild Wars 2 Wednesday. Of all Titans are tormented souls, whose tormented massive soul is Savus, the Titan that morphed into Bavanisos? I don't know. I do not know. Muck, did ANET say a Win Guild Wars 3 is being released? Yeah, right after Tyrian Fight Tactics comes out. They gotta get those devs to finish that project first. Not sure, but I think the difference is that a Titan is a collection of tortured souls. One of the Gorseville likes is a creation of vengeful spirits. Every time I've had to tell someone the mechanics like Stallion, I usually call him Timu Gorseville. I love the lore Guild Wars 2, but they assume Guild Wars 2 players know more about Deep Lore than they do, because if you did play Guild Wars 1, lost. I would say that's often not the case. Like, you don't have to have played Guild Wars 1 to understand most of what's going on in Guild Wars 2. But there's a few moments where it's like, oh yeah, you didn't find the one book that's hidden in the corner or the jumping puzzle? Yeah, that explained everything. It's like, what? Here we go. If I haven't unlocked IBS masteries, will I still get spirit shards when I gain experience, or do I need to finish those masteries? If the mastery bar is full and you can't spend it, it should go to spirit shards after that. And I believe that goes for anyone. Or any region, I mean. Bunga bunga! Like, any plans on Octopath 1 or 0 in December? I enjoyed Octopath 2. My short answer is if the audience is there for it, I'm happy to play Octopath. The other Octopaths. But it depends on the audience. Like, for example, the first day that we played Days Gone, which was just like a week ago, really high viewership. Yesterday, it was like half of that. So I'm just like, okay, and mentally I tell myself I need to keep an eye on this. But if, like, I had fun playing Octopath 2, so if the audience is there, I'd be okay with it. Sorry, didn't want to sneeze in your ear. Yesterday was Labor Day, I slept in. Yep. Gotta celebrate the labor. Let's see, after I played Guild Wars 1, I started realizing how many things were put in Guild Wars 2 to make it so familiar to people, mostly in Alona. A lot of skills, too. Like, you know, Troll Unguent on Ranger. Like, that's just off the top of my head. There's a lot of skills and trait names in the game that were in Guild Wars 1 that became similar skills in Guild Wars 2. Signets, yep. I kind of agree with you, Muck, on the Gale Shot thing. I'm most annoyed by the buffs to birds. No other spec explicitly favors certain pet families. That's not true, Jobbers. I could show you some. Skirmishing. Buffs to feline, avian, and drakes. Let's see. Beast Mastery. Buffs to bears and pigs. Let's see. Marksmanship. Marksmanship had something, didn't it? Oh, here we go. Buffs to dogs. And wilderness survival. Arachnophobia. Buffs to spiders and devourers. So, yeah. I mean, there's... if you weren't aware, I think it was around last year that they added those traits, so they're relatively new, but they are there. To be fair, I meant elite specs, but you know, I didn't specify. That's on me. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. In elite specs, which is a smaller list, they haven't done that. But yeah, they just added all that. Mike, do you have a guide on leveling masteries fast? It depends on the area. For example, if you, like, I have a guide on masteries, not for leveling them fast. Anything that fills the XP bar. So metas are great. Like if you're trying to fill the hot mastery bar, doing Heart of Thorns metas like Tyria and stuff is really good. If you're trying to do Central Tyria, my go-to was usually Fractals. But that's basically it. You could do whatever, but I often would just do meta events in whatever region I needed to do. Do you have a guide on crafting and binding of hippos? If you, here, I'm gonna link you, that website that I just put in the chat pulls up all the legendary crafting guides I've made. And this one, Gen 1 and Gen 2. This one has a section for Gen 2 legendaries, which can be applied to binding of hippos, if you are interested in that. Morning, Muck. When are you going to start working for ANET since you interviewed you now? Also, Guardian is still in the game. Oh, yeah, end of day, it's gone. Yo, I love what I do. I do not want to work for ArenaNet as, like, go in the office and work a 9 to 5. I would have less freedom. Like, for example, right now, if I dislike something in the game, I can talk about it, okay? If I worked for them, I would probably not be allowed to do that. Like, I gave you guys my opinion on Gale's shot earlier, right? Muck, they allow remote work? Yeah, my point is I would have shackles on me compared to how I am now. Okay? Plus the fact, like, I stream Guild Wars 2 like once a week right now, and I do a lot of other stuff as well. But I think I'd be happier doing what I'm doing right now. But if they, for example, I like working with them. So if they were to be like, you know, if they wanted to consult or something, like, hey, Muck, what's your opinion on this? Or how do you think the community feels about that? Blah, blah, blah. I love that. You know, just, you know, conversation and talking from time to time. That would be awesome. But going in and just, like, you know, working exclusively for them 9 to 5 and not doing stuff on other games. Like, we played 110 games last year. So I would have to cut most of that out if I were just working at like ArenaNet Studios doing something 40 hours a week. When you work for a company, you can't be quite so open about your opinions regarding them, such as life. Right. Being in the driver's seat is a different thing. Yeah. Like, I don't know if there's much else to add. I mean, that's basically it. Like, I think if I was working at ArenaNet, there's so many little jokes and stuff. Like, you know, I hate Bram. I probably can't say that. Like, this Baba Niso's meta feels kind of backwards. Why is the big boss at the beginning? I probably wouldn't be able to say that. You know, stuff like that. You know, that would just be a bad image to the company if an employee was just saying negative things from time to time. Bog Otter got hired at ArenaNet, but the only time I've known him to stream Guild Wars 2 is news stories, and don't think he did enjoy Theor Wilds. Right, and I know he's working there. I have no idea what he's doing. So I don't know. I don't know what his opinions are. I'm certainly not hearing his opinions lately. You shouldn't say you hate Bram anyway. Bram's the GOAT. Bram's the GOAT for the wrong team. He has more kills of our allies than the Elder Dragons do. Are you on EU or NA right now? I'm on EU right now. I thought the same thing about the Bavanisos meta. Why is it backwards? Yeah. Your message failed to send test date. I see you, Lily. Like Chorus, I see you. If I worked at ANET, I'd be fired by now based only on the opinion I have about Timey. I don't dislike Timey. I mean, in some sections of the story, she is, is it Mary Sue when there's a character that can fix everything? In some sections of the story, she's that. But then there was like another section of the story where she was trapped in her mech and running out of oxygen and mucking dying, and you're having to free her because she can't do anything. My only gripe with Timey is, does she have a lethal debilitating condition or not? Because they said that she was dying from bone dystrophy, essentially, and then they just keep like forgetting about it. And it's been like 10 years. Now, I'm fine with her as a character. I do not crave for her to die, but it's like, make up your mind. The writers keep forgetting about it. I think you whacked your green screen. Oh yeah, I hit my desk with my cup and it shook the camera. Thanks. So, they seem to be hinting for a long time that Timey was going to use Blish's research and transfer her mind into a golem, and then they just like never did that. I don't think they can depict a child's death. She's dating Goric, so she's over 18 now, so now they can. But for real, like, I don't crave for her to die, but they need to address, like, it's writing, right? Either the character needs to pass away, or they need to address a solution to her illness. And so far, they just slapped some fancy J-Tech crutches on her and called it a day. And it's like, she said it was going to kill her. And crutches solve a symptom, not a cause. So, do something with that. Next expect Timey is dead. Thank Muck for this. There are a lot of people like Sand in YouTube chat right now that hate Timey and want that character dead. I don't. I'm just saying I want them either... Like, for example, if they had done the storyline where they moved her mind into a golem body, that would have felt natural for how they had been leading the writing, and then it was kind of weird that they didn't do it. Too bad we don't have a healing dragon, right? If only we had known one. That would have been great. Timey is awesome. Again, I'm not saying they should kill her, but I'm saying they should finish her plot line because she's been about to die for 10 years. It's like they just forgot. Tybalt, yeah. I do want to get Blish out of the mist already. It's been far too long. Yeah, I don't even know if he's still alive in there or not. There's too many plot lines up at this point. Timey's just one. I'm assuming she's gonna merge with Scruffy in Visions of Eternity. Scruffy? I mean, yeah, could. To be fair, I know a dude that was medically predicted to die at a certain age and lived 12 years past that, still going. I mean, that's great and all. The point is, again, it was never addressed. We're all like, oh, hey, Timmy's still alive? So, you know, slap her on the back of the shoulder. Her shoulder blade just breaks because of the bone dystrophy. Let's see, is anyone doing this? Maybe. Third in queue. See if I can get in. Watch out for her bonitis. Yeah. Hey, Mike, how are you? Which elite spec impressed you the most? Will probably play when X-Spec launch. I did not find an elite spec that I want to play when I'm going through the story solo. However, the Paragon, Troubadour, Luminary, and Ritualist were really fun as supports. Paragon was absolutely the strongest one. I don't know if I feel it is the most fun one, but it was the strongest one. So we'll see what happens. Wasn't the thing with Blish that he was not only in the mist, but eaten by Krauk? I'm not sure. I would kind of need to look at a chat log of everything that was said in that final mission with Blish. I know he said he was going to shut down his higher systems or something, so that he wasn't just like in torment or something like that, but I do not know. What if the Inquest saved Blish and now he's evil because he got mucked up in his time in the mist? Blish would be a terrifying opponent. I want to remind you that he had nuclear missiles in his arm. Do you guys remember that? That mission where his arm got lopped off and you used it to get through like this area? And he had nukes. So he would be a horrifying opponent. We all thought Zoja was dead, and look how they brought her back for exactly 4 minutes and forgot about her after. They didn't forget about her, she forgot about everyone else because they gave her amnesia. They gave her wizard amnesia. Honestly, yeah, the writing... The reason why... I mean, they did an okay job. I think when they talked about, like, why she was gone all that time and what she was doing, I think they did an okay job. Not, like, the best, but I think it was okay. I actually hate that Zoja's Ascension and Wizard Amnesia happened entirely off screen. We hear she's gonna do it next time we see her, it's already done. When fighting Blish as a boss, they should make it so your HUD messes up from some of his abilities. That'd be cool. It'd be like getting hacked in Cyberpunk. Mr. Madigan says, do you remember the first quest after you met Blish and the Port Authority shut him off or what? Yep. Yep. That's why he said he was going to shut off his higher function, so he didn't go through that again, I think. So the thing that they're referring to is there is a quest where you... Blish was in a box, and his robot body was turned off. But his mind was still active, so it was like he was just trapped in absolute silent darkness. And he was going insane. And when you turn him on, he immediately is screaming. And like it implied that he had already been screaming in the dark. And then when you turned him on, suddenly his screams, you know, hit the microphone again. And then Gorik had to calm him down, and he was like, never again, never again, never again, never again. I can't handle it. No, I can't handle that again. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then the implication is that he's just floating in the void at the end of his arc, but he did say something about turning off his higher functions, which I think was supposed to imply that he wouldn't be getting tortured again. He needs a sticker that says Sentient Golem, do not shut down. That would solve everything. Also, this side up. Very Warhammer 40k Grimdark. A little bit. Yeah, we did it. Sometimes the Guild Wars 2, I feel like there's too many sacrifices for the greater good. I mean, I think a sacrifice in writing is okay if it makes sense, right? But, you know, sometimes, like, an example of, like, a death that probably didn't have to happen, but it did have a lot of impact because it was the biggest main character death in that arc, was the one in Heart of Thorns. If you played Heart of Thorns, you know who I'm talking about. Like, that person, it was just sudden. It was the equivalent of we were walking along and they got shot in the back. And they could have not done that, but they chose to do that. But it had a lot of weight to it because that was the mainest character death that happened. So, you know, And there's different reasons. Maybe the voice actor / actress for that character had to go, and they were like, okay, we've got to get this character out of here, or we'd have to change voices, and no one wants that. You know, I don't know. I don't know what led to that decision making. Yes, Windshark. I was being vague because it's a spoiler for the new players. But I think most of you know who I'm talking about. But there's other deaths, like, for example, when you're at Claw Island and a certain person who's with you wants to try to make the sacrifice play, in my opinion, it makes no sense there. They're not going to stall the dragon in that army for more than 1 second, if 1 second at all. That one was stupid. It makes no sense at all. However, the thing with Blish, there was very much a reason for it. Like, I do not think that was, like, bad writing in any way. Now, I was sad to be separated from Blish, and I say separated because I don't know if he's coming back or not, but I understood, like, with the tools we have right now, this is the only way. And so it's like, okay, all right, that makes sense. You know? Wow, I just rezzed 3 people over here and then like 8 went down over there. GG. Thanks for not spoiling. I'm trying to. Chat's not always picking up what I'm putting down. See if you can Aegis it, Muck. Oh my god. I actually didn't have access to Aegis there because I was in Unga Bunga mode. Can go heal Untamed. Yeah, there's sometimes I think that like this is a guess because I've never really been a writer. Sometimes I think they probably kill a character because it makes sense, and sometimes, I mean, you know, it might be because like, hey, you know, this voice actor is gonna be gone soon. You know, and we don't really have any other plans for this character. Maybe we should just kill them. That is a guess, though. Didn't they say they were going to add voice lines to the zone already that were missing when it launched? To Bava Nisos? Not that I recall. Radio mount menu? Wait, what, Illy? Hang on, I'm checking your messages. Oh, okay. If someone was asking about this, this is like a radio mount menu. There's a few different mods that do this. I'm using the one in Bloodshed. Now we protect these turtles, Chop. Remember those plastic things that are around like 6 packs of soda? And like when we were kids, they would be like, you have to cut the plastic or it'll kill the turtles. I always cut the plastic, Chop. Have you tried Linux? No. I have never gamed on Linux. Nice. A small question for someone who brute forced this event. Can you explain why is the idea on each part of the map only turtles do damage to this door? So, after you beat Lextalion, there's a door here, and you go in here, and then there's a bunch of, like, organs. When you kill each of these little organs, these things, it will spawn a bunch of little dudes. You can kill the little dudes, or they will go to the heart in the middle. If they reach the heart, they will combine, and like 10 or so of them will make a mob, and while that mob's alive, all the organs around here are invulnerable. So you either gotta, you know, then go back and then kill the thing, because they're invulnerable now. Or you need to kill the little dudes so that they don't form the big guy. If you are on the side areas, they've got like what is it, the lungs or something? I don't know, but they've got a different thing. So hang on, see, watch. I kill this, and right here, see all those red health bars? So these things start merging together, and if they successfully merge, it will make something that makes all the other organs invulnerable. And it did. So now all of the organs are shielded, and we have to deal with this. So the people that were not helping kill those things are having to come back now. But yeah, the other lanes, there's organs to destroy, but it is a bit different. You're like on this raised platform, and it's circular, and it will constantly try to like blast you off the platform with knockbacks. They would have died if you had some engineers there. You talking about like amalgams? Because they OP? I don't think heel scrappers would have saved us there, for example. The shield, though, with the turtles, there's actually also floating rocks in the air. And I think you can use Warclaw's chains to pull the rocks down and smash them into the shield, which is kind of rad. Right now I'm just trying to keep these people alive that are standing in all of this no-no. I bring the Stompy mech, but sadly your map is already full. Understood. Love the meta music. Yeah, it's pretty good. Are the other lanes have the same reward? I would assume so. Otherwise, why would anybody ever want to do them? But I've not actually checked. I just like doing this one because this is more like fighting a dummy than it is, you know, avoiding knockbacks and playing dodgeball. So I like this one because there's always people to heal. Pet's rezzing that guy. Mike, did you hear Xbox now has access to Helldivers 2? Yeah. I learned that through memes. I've seen lots of memes of that. Hey there, do you expect underwater reworks for spells and weapons when VOE drops? As far as I know, we'll have a lot of underwater content. I don't believe we've been told it's going to have a lot of underwater content. We have been told that they're making 3 legendary weapons, and a lot of people, myself included, are assuming that's going to be the underwater ones, since there are 3 of those. Additionally... Hang on, I'm trying to keep these schmucks alive. What else do we know? They're underwater rebreather. was a long stun. Did I manage to save that guy? Yeah, I think we got him. So, I don't know that they've specifically mentioned underwater content. Shugo, after you beat all the organs around this lane, this guy spawns under the heart, you kill him, and this lane is beaten. Oh, hi, Kestrel. So, like, will they fix underwater stuff? I would love for them to do that. I have not heard any mention of them doing anything that makes me think they're going to do that. But, yeah, I want you to be right. But I have not heard that. Boom. Slash salute. Looks like only one person stood in it today. How come the player models are not loaded on your screen? The top thing that lags you is character model limit. If you turn this up, it will render every single player and thing around you, but it drastically reduces performance. So if you are in a meta with a lot of people and you're getting some lag, first thing you should consider turning down is character model limit. You'll still see the names of everybody, but you won't load in all their, you know, armor and fashion choices. Get a better PC? You could also get a better PC. What? Hi, Dad. What's up? Streaming right now, but I can talk real quick. Okay. Can I call you this afternoon? All right. Talk to you then. All right. Bye. Okay. Papa, yep. Grandpa Muck. Okay. Another job at Blizzard? No, the story with him setting up their phone system was, God, that was over 20 years ago. Your boy's Mini Muck is Pop Mega Muck. Mega Muck. So it's like a Pokemon evolution. That's Reginald Esquire the Third. Let's see. Anyone else been to... Oh, wait. Have they finished? I think... Is South still going? I think South is still going. Oh, there we go. They just finished. Livia addresses the group. When you see that, the meta's done. Yeah. I think it's kind of confusing because so many people thought the map was done and left, and they missed the last box. Thought that would teleport me by just walking over it. It did not. I've seen a pic of 4 generations of Muck. The youngers are cloned. Yeah, quite a few folks have said a picture of my grandfather, my dad, me, and my kid just look like one dude traveling through time. Hang on. Let me see. Alright, this is a few years ago, so Gabe looks a little younger in this one. Give me a sec. I'm gonna show you a family pic. Alright. That's my son, me, my dad, and my dad's dad. That's us. Muck's reproduced by mitosis. Only see one person, what do you mean? Oh my god. Very similar to the John Cena thing. Mucktosis. Control C, Control V. Good looking group of guys, thank you. So much hair. I've lost some. We'll see if it lasts. You all look like Evil Dead's main actor. I'll take it. Glad the cloning machine's working. Yep. Bruce Campbell. The genes of the women in that family stood no chance. Yeah, we have a running joke that when people see me with my son, and they'll like lean over to me and whisper, be like, you know, are you sure she's the mother? Yeah, I'm sure. Like, your son looks like the boy in Labyrinthine Cliffs trading Zephyrite boxes for ectoglobes. Okay. I don't know if I've met him. You lost hair because of people asking when is the giveaway every 5 minutes? Oh, man, true that. Chat's wild today? No, this is tame. This is tame. When will we have Muck Family Fractal CM run? It's not gonna happen. When is the giveaway? Later tonight. Mechanic, I am not hitting the allow button on your message. I'm just gonna hit ban on you. That was a really weird rant. Did I miss the giveaway? No, you didn't miss it. There will be one tonight. We emptied out a lot of the giveaway vaults on my birthday on August 23rd. But I'm sure we can get together some stuff for a nice giveaway tonight. Muck banning people, this is mild. Well, it was right after I said this is mild chat, one guy just posted a wall of profanity. And I was just like, what? And of course he hit the filter, so I'm the only person that saw it. And I was just like, away with you. Let's see, Commander's Chest. Do I want amalgamateds? I wish while you're in this box you could see, I guess it shows it down here, but you can't see like how many of each of these. Well, you can see this, like it says 1,000 rotted titan amber in storage, but if I mouse over obliges, it doesn't say how many obliges I have. But I can see that down here. Probably get amalgamated though. Let's see. What's the best way to spend laurels for? You got a few options. You can go to the laurel merchant and there's some stuff for like your homestead, like the quartz crystal you could get. You could get some of the cosmetic stuff there. Like fused gauntlets are available from the laurel merchant. There's a few pieces of ascended jewelry you can get there if you need gear. And if you just want money, you can get bags of crafting materials and then sell the materials. Are you playing Untamed or Druid? This is Heal Untamed. I just played it for the Bavanisos meta. What's the best way to get amalgamated gemstones or just get them from Trading Post? Amalgamated gemstones have countless recipes to make them. So I would say go to the Amalgamated Gemstone wiki page and go to recipes and see if, because like, let's say it's like, oh, I can use my stack of coral in my bank to make gemstones. Or, oh, I can use my stack of onyxes to make gemstones. You know, you might have the materials to make 500 amalgamateds and not realize it. So I would look at the recipe list first. If you don't have anything to make amalgamateds, then I would say farm gold in whatever your favorite way is, and then just buy amalgamateds. Let's see. Good people, what are the best way to get permanent gathering tool glyphs? I mean, there's really two. You can buy them with gold from the trading post, or you can get them with gems, which is either gold to gems or dollars to gems. Anytime you buy unbreakable gathering tools from the TP, from the gem store, it should also come with the glyph box. I didn't know that for like 6 months I was buying them, and when I saw we can craft them, I had to 700. I recently encountered a hero point that was unique as I played an Engie. Are there more like that for specific classes? What hero point's unique for Engie? Let's see, what else is going on? Tequila. Most people that get auto-modded really like to type. Not always. Like, sometimes it's something innocent, and I have to add words to the whitelist. Like, for example, if you're on a channel and they have ass as a blocked word, and then someone types assassin, which has ass in it, you know? And then it's like, oh, well, okay, we didn't mean to block assassin. And you gotta then add, like, words to the blacklist and the words to the whitelist. And you got to figure that out. So sometimes people will hit the... Oh, I remember we were talking about snacks one day, and someone brought up oatmeal cream pies, which is a Little Debbie snack. And of course, you type that in Twitch. And Twitch is like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Twitch starts blocking it. So, I mean, like, sometimes people don't mean to. But then there's other times where it's just someone's being an absolute tool, and they just post like a wall of stupid, and it's just like, all right, well, we don't need you here, and I just ban them. But for the amount of stream hours this channel has, the ban list is pretty short. But occasionally you get someone in here who just seems to want to get banned, and it's just like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm happy to not see you anymore. I've been blocked for messages that baffle me, like there are some that still don't know what gets through. I got banned from a stream because I used the word simp for Logan. I just meant like super fan, which is what I thought the word meant. Nope, that is not what it meant, which is why you just hit the Twitch filter. Yeah, I think a year or two ago, Twitch added the word simp to their filters. And it's like, you know, it was usually used in a derogatory way, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. The S word's a bad word? It's not a bad word, but it was used to harass a lot of people. Mostly female streamers. So I think Twitch added it as a filter word across the whole platform. And so, like, I can hit the allow button on some of the, like, if someone says it, I can hit allow, but if I do, it'll, like, change the filters, so I just usually just read it out loud. That reminds me of a guy called Nassar on Total War Warhammer, and the game censor ass in his name, making it much worse. Oh, his name was Nasser, which had ASS in it. I understand. I understand. Twitch couldn't handle people crashing on the hot tub streams. Yeah. Still used in a derogatory way, but that's because all global Twitch moderators are simpletons. Sometimes words just change meaning over time, too. Like, for example, like, when I was growing up on cartoons, you know, if you had a villain, and that villain had henchmen, they might be called goons. That word has taken on a different meaning in the last couple of years. So sometimes, like, a word that is, like, fine is, like, suddenly not fine anymore. And then it's like, do we need to block this one? What is the bottom margin for a bannable offense? Dude, if someone says something, like, if someone is just like, oh man, this is ass, I'm usually just like, I don't ban them. I usually just go, hey, we got a PG stream here. And more often than not, they usually go, oh, my bad. And that's it. But, like, you know, if they're just like a sailor that just pulled into port, sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, and then I'll just block it. Or if they're obviously just trying to start something, right? Because you can usually tell. If someone's just trying to start drama, I don't have any desire for that. So I'm just like, no. Go bother someone else. I remember that was used as a reference to something. I used the word cool. I remember looking at bad words in the dictionary as a kid and learning that they had other definitions as derogatory words. Well, that music transition, though, just boom. Hey, we res here. More percent. There we go. He's invulnerable. Phase. A sailor that just entered the port, such a sophisticated way of speaking. I didn't claim to be sophisticated. It was a metaphor. I think you understood what I meant. Because there's different tiers, right? Like, let's say you cuss half as much as that, then maybe you're a dock worker. If you just cuss on occasion, maybe you're a dock intern. Every time I fight the bloated zombies here that explode, I think about Total War and the Vampire Coast faction, because they have a troop that's like that. It's just like this big bloated guy, and you just run him into the enemy, and if whether he reaches them and detonates or they shoot him, it's a massive explosion. These guys. 50%. Great music. Yeah. It's usually well received. Alright, invuln again, one more phase. For the spoons. Too many spoons. Remember when they reworked this? No, actually I don't. That might have been before my time. I played the game at launch until I got bored of it, and then I came back after Path of Fire. And all the work I've done on the game was since then. Like, you should check the shop out and look for the door. The door? Crystal Rune Conjured Doorway Skin. Oh, for your homestead? No. Not for me, but some of y'all might like it. That's a thing. It's a thing. The thing with the door that enters my mind is you see the door so briefly, right? Like, I'm not opposed to the door looking pretty, but you see the door for like a second when you use it. Unless you just summon it and leave it there. So it's like you don't get to really enjoy that purchase much, I feel like. What kind of doorway would be appealing enough for you to purchase? None. You see it for a second, and then you step through it, and that's it. Same for me with the drone. Yeah. Yeah, I never got any Jadebot skins for the same reason. You see the Jadebot so infrequently. It just felt like something I didn't get to appreciate much. You know what would be kind of a... Someone says, what kind of door would you want? And I was like, I don't have a want for a door. And then I was thinking about what kind of door would I want? And I was imagining like a big fancy door opens, and, like a big fancy doorway appears. And it's got like a Jarvis NPC in front of it. Or like Alfred from Batman. And he's like, right this way, sir. And he like opens the door for you. And you're like, as you step through it. That, I might get that one. I might get one that where a butler opens the door and my character goes, as he steps in. I might make a purchase for that. Thanks guys, I'm yours to efficiency counts. I'll look into that one. They give us doorway skins, but not skins for engineers Jade Mech. Yeah, I have said that so many times. Like Flex, like they would make money if they did that. I'm guessing it's a technical limitation or something that they haven't figured out a way around. But yeah, if they didn't care about, well, I mean, they made Antiquary. I was gonna say if they didn't care about the game lore making sense, if they really wanted to make money, do a crossover and have Jade Mech skins that look like 2B. They would make so much money, but the game would be starting to look like Fortnite. So much money. Canuck opens the door and he says, hello, Commander. Oh, man. Stellar Blade. Yellow camera is just two guys pulling them and going whoosh. I want one that looks like Big O. It's showtime. Sound like a Minecraft villager. What if anyone's doing Casino Blitz? Stream Reaction knows Big O exists. Used to watch it. It was on Cartoon Network. Adult Swim, late night. Cast in the name of God, ye not guilty. Wee, wee, wee. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it was an anime about a guy who could summon a giant robot. The world setting was almost cyberpunk. It was kind of hard to describe. But the giant robot had this massive piston in its elbow. So it would like grab something's face and then like the piston would come back and slam back in and whatever it was holding would basically, their head would explode. Muck, how's your game opening other maps and clicking the waypoint for you? That is part of the event table thing in Blishud. If I click on something, it will navigate to the map and click on that waypoint. Yeah, Big O was simply on TV when I was a kid. That's also when I was introduced to Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, I didn't even know what anime was. I just knew the really cool cartoons where people were just straight up killing each other came on late night. And I didn't know about Japan or anything like that, but yeah, I saw all of that. I don't know if you mentioned Full Metal. Oh yeah, I did see the original Full Metal Alchemist on there before they rebooted it to Brotherhood. Yeah, I saw Full Metal Alchemist on there too. Samurai Champloo. Yep, I watched that on there too. Trigun. I said Trigun. Check the Yours 2 discussion for pick of the next doorway up close. Hang on. You can dye it? Wow. Chat, you can dye it. It's kind of cool that you could dye it, honestly. That's kind of neat. But that also means we're going to see some very flamboyant doors. Let's see. Outlaw Star. I said Outlaw Star. Cobra. I don't remember one called Cobra. I love Dot Hack. Okay, so I did see one of the Dot Hack animes. Young me didn't get it. Like, I got that they were like in a game or something, kind of like Oh shoot, what was that other recent one where the people were trapped in the game? Not solo leveling, it wasn't solo leveling. Someone's gonna say it in a second. Sword Art Online, thank you. Yeah, Sword Art Online. So .hack was kind of like Sword Art Online, but kind of not also. But yeah, I felt like I jumped into a book, like a book series on the third book, trying to understand .hack. Sword Art Online recent. Compared to .hack, it's recent. Log Horizon, I never saw Log, no. Sword Art Online was a great half season of anime. I watched season, what is it? There was like the first season, which was like the good one. Then there was like Gun Art Online or whatever. Like they were like in a game with guns. Then they were like in a game where they were like fairies. That was all right, but it definitely the first season was like the best one. Did you see Guild Wars 3? Did I see Guild Wars 3? No. That's because .hack does have a lot of books in the series. Well, yeah. Is Gun Gale online? Yeah. Gantz? I read Gantz. I haven't seen the anime, but I did read the entire series of Gantz. That one, I'm kind of surprised to hear that brought up. Because like, we were naming off anime I saw on Toonami like 100 years ago. Gantz wasn't there then. The .hack stuff was crazy. 4 PS2 games that played in order, anime, series, manga books. I remember playing a .hack video game at one point though, and it was fun. Log Horizon was the GOAT first anime that actually managed to get me excited for MMO economics. Inuyasha. Oh! Inuyasha. Yeah. I remember when they rebooted. Inuyasha was a show that was a good watch, but it was so slow-paced. Then they finally brought it back for another season, like 20 years later, and it was just like, someone dies, someone dies, someone dies, someone dies, someone dies. The end. Like, they wrapped it up. And it was good, but they freaking wrapped it up when they brought it back all those years later. I liked Inuyasha till someone told me it was meant to be a girls' show. I didn't care. I still enjoyed it. Inuyasha was DBZ for girls. I think Sailor Moon was DBZ for girls. But I don't really care. I liked Inuyasha. It was good. When they brought it back, it was after the manga ended, so they just beelined to the conclusion rather than adding fillers. That makes sense to me. Yeah, it was a fun show. Sailor Moon was Sailor Moon. I never really saw Sailor Moon, but I knew of its existence. I think OP2 was my favorite. OP1 was pretty iconic. Vision of Escaflowne. I think I saw it, and that was one of those that made me just go, what? And I don't remember much of it. This guy's name is Mustachius Prime. Berserk. I saw Berserk. Not on TV though. I had a friend, dude. Okay, this is funny. All right, chat. Some of you will get this, and if you don't get it, I'm sorry. I'm not explaining it. Okay, original Berserk. I had a friend who was a Mormon. I went to high school in Utah. A lot of my friends were Mormons. I am not, but they were great people. And he was allowed to collect anime by his parents. They had some pretty strict rules, but he was allowed to. And so often he would get like a new DVD, and I would get to watch it at his house. And he was collecting Berserk. Pretty bloody, but they let him. And the next DVD came out, and he watches it, and I come over, and he's like, hey, I don't remember the episode number. He's like, all right, so we're gonna watch episode 16. I'm like, what? The last one I saw was 14. He's like, you don't want to see 15. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't want to miss something. Why would you suggest I skip this? He's like, you don't want to see 15. I'm like, okay, now you're being weird about it. I want to see 15. I don't want to just skip an episode. And so he's like, and he closes the door, and he sits there like this, and we watch it, and I'm just, It's freaking horrifying. I'm like, all right, okay, I see why you tried to steer me away. All right, and I might have the episode numbers wrong, but I think any of you that know the original Berserk know exactly what I am talking about. It's traumatized. Yeah, he told you he did. He did. It was, it suddenly got extremely rated R. And I'm not talking about for blood. I don't mean for the fighting. Trying to remember which scene that was. There's a lot of messed up stuff. Come on. Come on. I got trauma from watching that. Do you FLCL? Oh, Fooly Cooly? Yeah, dude, Fooly Cooly was an acid trip. That was on Toonami. I saw Fooly Cooly on Toonami. No, well, Zephyr, yes, but way worse. See, Evangelion? Bits of it. I never finished it. I've heard it has an ending that confuses everyone. I never saw the whole thing of Evangelion, but I saw a lot of chunks of it. Alright, chat, give me just a minute. I need to get something to drink. I'll be right back.
And the race is underway.
Reports of creatures driven insane by ley energy are coming from all over.
Okay. Alright, I'm back. Usually my very kind wife will bring me something for lunch about 45 minutes from now, but I've got like shaky hands, and I was like, can I get lunch as soon as you're willing? And she's like, yeah, sure, I'll get you in a couple minutes. I'm like, thanks. I burned a calorie talking about anime, chat. No. Last Airbender. I don't think that's technically an anime, but I have seen it, and it was wonderful. I also saw Korra. Didn't watch it. I didn't like it as much as the original, but I enjoyed it enough to watch the whole thing. Have you seen Claymore? Okay, I barely remember Claymore, but yes. Okay, I'll tell you what I remember. It was one of those animes where everyone is drawn, like, beautiful, beautiful. Like, they're very, very thin. Like, how elves are drawn in some stuff. They were drawn, like, very gaunt. But the women were, like, super-powered warriors, and they basically could just, like, rip other people apart as if they were Guts from Berserk. I honestly don't remember much more than that. But I did see it, but it's been a long time. Which episode was Muck talking about? No. I'm not gonna try to explain this. Shaman King. I saw that on Toonami. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't that like a kid and he would like almost equip spirits? Like a spirit could turn into a gauntlet and another spirit could turn into a boot and stuff like that. And he would like fight with these things like on him. I can't remember the plot beyond that, but I think I enjoyed that one. Ranma 1/2. I only know about Ranma from memes. I do not remember ever seeing Ranma, but I know it's about a character that can swap genders. So sometimes I see, like, you know, something, like a picture or a meme with that character and they look male, and sometimes I see it and they look female. I don't know anything else about it. Bobobo? Okay, that one looks so stupid I never gave it a chance. Bobobo is about a guy with an afro that fights with extendable nose hairs. I saw it and I'm like, no, I'm good. Durarara. Don't know that one. Tenchi Moyo. Saw it on Toonami, barely remember it. Outlaw Star Big O. Saw them both, remember them pretty clearly. You must have watched Shin Chan. I know who the character is from like t-shirts and stuff like that. There was someone at PAX that had a shirt with like 100 Shin Chans all over it. And I recognized it, but no, I didn't want to watch it. They remade Shaman King, but it makes a second season. Yeah, he communes with a ghost, which becomes his weapon.
Boruto YouTuber raided my stream with 23 viewers.
What timing? I'm getting asked questions about anime, and someone named Boruto YouTuber raids me. Hey, Boruto, what's up? Bo, are we back to Gale Shot? No. I don't think this map is doing that. Getting the chocolate on that. Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was a great anime. What? Next up, King of the Hill. Return the slab. Durarara is like about a city full of people going about their individual lives and storylines crossing at certain points, some supernatural elements here and there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know that one. Oh gosh. It's like no one here. Thank you so much. Okay, is this for north? This is for the Radanovis line. Okay. Have you ever watched Ruby? Yeah, I never finished it. I watched a bunch of seasons of Ruby. And then, like, I caught up, right? And then I forgot about it for a long time, and then they made more, and then the show got canceled or something. So I never finished it. But I watched many seasons of it when it was out. Does that add-on work if you don't have the waypoint? No. It would just click on the spot where the waypoint should be, and then it would say error. Okay. We're gonna eat lunch and wait on the chalk to show up. Ruby was canceled? Wasn't there a period of time where, like, Rooster Teeth was going out of business or something? I could be misremembering. I might be getting my stories crisscrossed, but someone can correct me if they know what I'm talking about. The original author died. Rooster went out. The original author died. His brother overtook the story of Ruby, but it changed a lot. Rooster Teeth went bankrupt or something, if I recall, so a lot of their projects went out like Ruby. Rooster Teeth was bought by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers didn't know what to do with it, so just sat around until Warner Brothers closed Rooster Teeth. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, back when it was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons in, I watched all of them. But they've added more since then. Red vs. Blue? Yeah, I've seen a lot of Red vs. Blue. Speaking of Ruby, I think the next episode of Death Battle on YouTube is Ruby with her scythe versus Maka from Soul Eater with her scythe. That's another one. I watched Soul Eater. It was a fun anime. And then I get to the last episode, and it had the stupidest ending I've ever seen. And I was like, huh? What? And then I find out it's based on a manga, if you will. And I go and I find the manga, and it doesn't end there. It keeps going. And it's way better, like, after that point. And I was just like, okay, I guess they just ran out of money or something? I was so confusing. Like, I'm just gonna tell you. They're fighting the big bad, right? and she punches him. Just a normal human punch. And he's like, you think you could beat me with a punch? And she's like, that's right. A normal human punch. Filled with all my rage, or something like that. And then he just like cracks down the middle. And he's like, what? And he dies. Like, it didn't even make sense to the people who wrote it. But, of course, in the anime, that's not how they defeat the big bad. A lot of anime or advertisements for the manga. I remember the first time I watched One Punch Man, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I looked at the manga, and I found the one that looks like napkin art. And I'm like, never mind, I'll wait on the next episode. I didn't know there was 2 mangas. There was like a good-looking one, and then like the napkin art one. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I'll just wait. Yeah, there's absolutely some, there's absolutely some where I, like, watched the show, and I like, thirsted for more, so then I, like, read all of the manga that was available, and there's some where I watched the show, looked at the manga, and I was like, ugh, and then I was like, I'll wait, maybe they'll make more. Oh, I remembered another one. I saw Toriko on Toonami. And, they did this really dumb crossover with Toriko and Goku and Luffy from One Piece and Dragon Ball Z in an eating contest. I'm like, who's this Toriko guy? And then I watched his anime. I got really into it. But then, you know, it just kind of cliffhangered. And then I read the manga all the way to the end of the series. I enjoyed that one. What about Spy X Family? I saw, like, the first, like, 12 episodes or so of it. I kind of forgot about it. I haven't seen all of it. Rurouni Kenshin? Yep. Saw that one. Yeah, that one was on Toonami for a long time. Any chance you'll play PoE 2 again with the new patch? I've kind of got a full plate with things that we're going to be playing the next couple weeks, so I don't know when I'll get to it, but I would be game to. But there's a lot of stuff I'm currently just in the middle of I want to finish. Are the other lanes still going? There's 2 lanes that are still going. Which expansions do I need in order to get the Sky Scale mount? You can get the Sky Scale mount with just the Secrets of the Obscure expansion. It's a quest line you'll have to do, but you can get it that way. Thanks. Sure. If you get to that quest and you get stuck, I do have a guide for it on my YouTube channel, if you want it. Muck has a guide? Yep. Did you finish Dark Heresy and Soulstorm? Huh? Dark Heresy is like coming out. That's being made by Owlcat, unless I'm thinking of something else. I don't know what Soulstorm is. Talking about Dawn of War. Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, I was thinking, what was that Owlcat Heresy game? Is it called Dark Heresy? Yeah, Owlcat is making a game called Dark Heresy right now. Alright, sorry. In Dawn of War, what do I remember? There was 4 campaigns, right, on the campaign list. I've beaten 2 of them, and I'm in the middle of the 3rd one, where I am playing Necrons for the first time. I played Tau for like an hour, and I didn't really like it, and so I was like, alright, I'll try Necrons, because it's the only other one I haven't tried yet, and I was like, this is alright. I think the Orcs might be my favorite in terms of gameplay mechanics, but I'm playing Necrons at the moment. Hi, Nima. Still waiting for the folding sheets guide. Ha! Oh! Jadebot, help! Jadebot, please! Oh my god. He got me with a stomp into a red circle, and then he pooped a donut on top of me after I was down. He really wanted me. Wait, did they just go? Okay, there we go. The arrow just disappeared. I got the reward for it dying, and then it took like another 5 seconds for the icon on the map to disappear, so I was confused. Shock's combo finisher? Yeah. How good is Heal Tempest and Catalyst now? Heal Tempest has always been good. Some patches better than others, but it's fine. Cata, I haven't played Heal Cata recently. I'll have to defer to whatever chat says on that one. Muck, you're maining Antiquary in VOE, right? No. No. Which healer, including the new spec, do you enjoy the most? Enjoy the most? Possibly heal Untamed. However, it does not have the ability to provide stability, so it does not work on some fights. I enjoy Scourge, I enjoy Heal Mechanist. Of the new stuff, Paragon was absolutely the strongest, possibly to the point of being overpowered. Troubadour was really good. You could put both good healing, good boons, and fat barrier on your team. It had a surprising amount of barrier. Ritualist was pretty cool. However, I would only play it like for extended periods of time if they took away that whole shatter your spirits thing. It's, in my opinion, it's dumb. I would like the spirits to stay out. That's why I want to play a Ritualist. So if they, make those buttons like command your spirits and not destroy them. Nargi says my favorites are Tau and Sisters of Battle and Soulstorm. Yeah, I haven't gotten to try the Sisters of Battle faction. I know some bits about their lore from the other Warhammer games I've played. They seem pretty cool. But, like, as a faction, I don't know much about them. Like, Argento is a Sister of Battle that's with you for, like, 100 hours in Rogue Trader, so she tells you a lot about them. Add Helldivers 2 to Spooktober month? What? They added underground caves, now it's spooky. Oh my god. This person just said, is the tea to your liking? And he goes, it's alright. Some dark spots and smokes in it, though. What is this mask? Person looks like they're a bone skinner or something. How do you feel about walking cathedrals that are tanks? Seems pretty cool to me. Really need to play some Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is a lot of fun. I haven't played it in a good while though, but it was fun. Amok, Ranger, Necro, and Thief are the only 3 classes that don't have a lack DPS build. Do you think they should add it for those 3? What? No, I think Ranger is the only class that doesn't have an alack DPS build. There is, I mean, they might not be the best, but there are alack DPS builds for the other 8. I haven't played since the 3rd faction came out. I haven't either. Alright, I finished my lunch. Someone told me the gym store door has dye channels. Did anyone check if the normal one does? What are you... I don't see dying here. Mike, have you played Sleeping Dog? Never met him. Nothing has been said about Rurouni Kenshin being canceled. I saw the Rurouni Kenshin that was out like 20 years ago. I don't know anything about recent ones. What is she doing? Some weird roleplay going on here. Was it Berserk episode 24, the eclipse you were talking about before? Possibly. I think there was actually 2. What was her name? Casca or whatever? There was like one episode that was like way more than we bargained for. That was a flashback for her. And then the eclipse was the second episode that we were like, oh Jesus. Those are the 2 episodes that were like, this is not what we bargained for. Mug, the remade Rurouni Kenshin based on the manga, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I'm a little frightened about the final season. You're frightened? Hello, hello, Factor. What was the URL for the game recommendation list? Exclamation game rec. All one word in the chat, and it'll pull it up. And if you got anything you want to see us play on this channel, you can add it to the list or upvote it if it's already on the list. You playing Fate Guild Sumac, no troll mesmer portals? Yeah, actually, as soon as I walked in, someone did a mesmer portal there, so I went to that chest first. You could see people complaining about it in the chat. No, the mesmers still exist. They have not learned any conscience. I watched Berserk as an adult. I had to check if my miss was around to catch a glimpse on a lot of scenes. If you like watching a show while making sure your wife is not looking over your shoulder, kill lock kill. I don't know. Actually, there's some equal opportunity episodes later on in the show.
That's catchy.
Yeah, that one was something. DXD also. I haven't seen that one. Let's see. Auric. 206. Neighbors doing yard work. I like Kill La Kill, but it's a horrible teen sexualization anime. I'm just remembering the scene with that one guy. It was like the teacher or whatever, and he was actually a part of a secret organization. And they're like, what's the organization called? And he's like, Nudist Beach! And like, as he says beach, like his shirt just starts falling off, and he's not actually like touching it at all, but it just starts like, the shirt is just undressing itself as he screams, beach! That was definitely for the ladies. Are you in NA? I live in NA. I'm playing on EU servers right now. Vandal does the same. It's so over, NA bros. I'll be back on NA tonight. West Coast NA, it's 9:49 a.m. They just got to work. Hey, Mike, could you please tell us some jokes? You put me on the spot. You've put me on the spot. I'll tell you one that my kid came up with, because it's the first one that came to mind. What is Jormag's favorite type of tea? Ice brewed. I think he was 10 when he came up with that. What class does your kid main? He has a couple of characters. I know he has a max level ranger though. The boy's got talent. Mm-hmm. You should have just said Weaver CC. The joke is Weaver CC.
No servant of the Emperor dies unavenged. No enemy of the Emperor escapes unpunished.
Thank you, Zorval. Flex says, why does Krogatoric only wear Nike shoes? He only wears branded ones. Oh, wow. Isn't that a Mad King's Thorn joke or something in the lab? If it is, they copied him. Because the clip where he told me that went viral a couple of years ago. Hang on. Alright, had to sneeze. Why are you on the EU server? For a couple of years now, every time I stream in okay, for me, this is like a morning stream. Every time I stream in the morning, I stream on EU because they're all awake. Whenever I stream in the evening for me, I stream on NA because EU's gone to bed. So I'm basically whenever I'm streaming Guild Wars 2, I'm on the servers that are more active at that time. You not well? No, just a sneeze or two. That's it. Guess what today is? Guild Wars Tuesday. What's the spec you're gonna main after the new ones come out? Honestly, if I'm just like open world on my own, I'm probably not changing. I don't really love anything in this batch for just like running around on my own. When it comes to supporting in a group setting, if they make some changes, I could easily very much enjoy like Ritualist or Paragon or Troubadour. So we'll see what those look like with their final versions. Muck, was your heal Vindicator build the one from Snow Crows or one adapted to your playstyle? That was weeks ago. I don't remember. I should have said in the video. Today's my actual birthday. Happy birthday, Worm! Lots of sneezing. I see FlukeCon on the way. What do you mean lots of sneezing? That's the second time I muted the stream to sneeze in 3 hours. Not really lots of sneezing. But it's possible. I could be incubating an ultra Nurgle plague right now. Maybe it'll hit me like a truck tomorrow. Who knows? Streak survives Seattle, doesn't survive Nurgle. Nah, we just have 6 stream ASMR. It's the con crud, the PAX pox. Post-con cold. Again, I just sneezed twice. My wife, it does sound like she's coming down with something. My wife might have gotten the con crud. So, depending on how long it takes her to get over it, I could catch it from her in the next few days. There's still a chance. It's kind of funny that, I mean, not funny, but it's kind of ironic, I guess, that she seems to be the one coming down with something because I'm the one who shook 100 people's hands. Sneezed twice, Muck has Ligma. Oh no.
Hi Muck. Here is a joke for you. What do you call a...
No. Thank you for the sub. I read what you're about to say, and I don't want that to play. Appreciate it. Do you have recommended content to try supporting in if you've always struggled with support in other games and don't have a static group to play with? I mean, you could. There's a practice room with a damage field, and you can train in there if you want to. And then after that, I mean, it's really anything. I would say strikes or fractals, open world events are fine, but you know, maybe do raids last. I do have a video here on. It's kind of just like a support Bible of sorts. If you want to check that out, I put everything I knew about support into that video. Living in Georgia could be that the pollen count's up this week. Yeah, I mean I'm indoors of course, but maybe a few pollen snuck in. Treadless said, anyone in chat ever have the game mess up and runs off only the installer, never actually installing the game files? That sentence needed some work, but I don't think I've had the issue you're trying to describe. Let's see, we got 2 minutes till the door opens. Or the door becomes breakable. Hello? Hello, Chantel! What up? Rickson says, joke, how do trees get on the internet? I don't know, Rickson. How do trees get on the internet? Good morning, Muck. Happy Taco Tuesday. Hello, Iski. They log in. Charma. I was expecting something about spiders and the World Wide Web, but I was barking up the wrong tree. Mike, do you like anime? Oh man, it has been a long time since we've talked about anime on this channel. Yeah, I like anime from time to time. What are the ones I'm watching right now? I got a few bookmarks. Sakamoto Days Part 2. What was this one? Oh no, I finished that one. What was it? Oh no, pause that. What is this one? Tugen Anki? This one's pretty cool. It's like this one like came out and I saw a preview for it. I'm like, I swear I remember reading something with these powers, and I found that I had read 104 issues of this manga, bookmarked it, and forgot about it. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I had read a lot of this. But yeah, I've been enjoying that one so far. Watch Gintama? Oh my god. Alright, so once upon a time, I saw a YouTube video that had a clip from Gintama, and it looked like the coolest fight scene I'd ever seen. And I was like, oh my god, this anime looks awesome. So I started watching it. Like 30 episodes later, I quit. I literally went through 30 episodes waiting for something cool to happen. And I felt like I was given a false advertisement on how cool that anime is. There's actually one episode where the entire episode is just the outside of their house. And they're talking about how they wonder whether or not they can get away with not actually animating anything that week. Now, I don't know at what point the awesome fight scenes kick in, but it's not in the first 30 episodes. Azumanga Daioh? I don't recognize that one. I don't know what that one is. A friend tried to get me into Ghost in the Shell. The episode he showed me was the tanks debating the existence of God for 30 minutes. Yeah, I watched Ghost in the Shell on, Toonami. It was pretty good. Can that thing be pulled by the Warclaw? Yeah, Warclaw 3 can pull the bomb, and Warclaw 4 can destroy the vines on it. So a few people on Warclaws make it really easy. Azumanga is a comedy anime of the slice of life variety. Watch him. After all these years, all I did was push. Well, the Warclaw only got the pull ability in the last year, Oatmeal, so it's a rather recent strategy. Is that was added in Janthier. I started watching The Summer Hikaru Died on Netflix, but I had to stop. It was too cursed. I haven't seen that one. I think I saw a trailer for that one. It's like some guy is like hanging out with his best friend, and the best friend does something weird, and the guy just looks at him and goes, "Who are you?" And the best friend's like, "Oh no, you noticed." And it's like, okay, this is something else. I didn't even see circles. This is some other thing pretending to be the best friend. But I never watched it. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, I was animation locked. We'll get rallied in a second. Nice Ellie cosplay. Nah, I lived. Aviator box in the chest. What? Is there an aviator box under there? My screen just acted like I clicked on an aviator box. I don't see one. I always go for the huge chests, leave the smaller ones. I mean, you could do what you like. I like opening the 30 boxes. Money, 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 money. What do Coden call to-do lists? Bare necessities? What was that one that I heard? How does Traherne screw in a light bulb? A word, Commander? Usually I'm in a hurry to get to Dragonstorm right after. Oh, that makes sense. The big ones are the ones that can have the big money thing. Like, I once got a 2,000 gold Aurelium infusion from one of these. So these are the ones that you want to make sure that you open for sure. To your knowledge, Monk, has ANET responded regarding any of the most popular feedback beta participants left on the new professions? No. They might still be sifting through it all. I mean, keep in mind that just over the weekend when I was in Seattle, a lot of them were hosting those events. So they probably had minimum people dealing with the forums while they were doing that. Has Herta ever given you the infusion? No. I've never gotten the infusion from Herta. I know it's possible, but I've never gotten it. Now, I got the rarest thing I've ever gotten was the Liquid Aurelium infusion from one of the boxes here one time. During the Zephyrite Festival we just had, I did get a Con-Ur infusion from a box. However, I spent way more resources buying boxes than... Like, it was still a net loss. Like, I spent twice as much as that infusion buying boxes, and then I got that infusion, which was cool. Connor? No, Con-Ur. This. I got that. You seem to have that add-on that displays what zone you're in. I've thought about installing it, but didn't know if it would bug me or not. Looks kind of cool, though. Yeah, it's Regions of Tyria. I'll send you a link if you want it. It's part of Blish HUD. It's just a fun thing, that's all. That one doesn't really do anything functionally. It's just for looking pretty. Let's see. What do we got next? Jakar, possibly. They want justice for the kitten he killed. That was a different Connor. I've thought about doing a did you know video on that. That was a funny story. The Connor kitten. One person opened 20k boxes, got 4 confetti infusions, 2 Connor, 8 invisibility boots, and 3 Queen Bee. I got nothing. I got a rock. Yeah, I opened... I don't remember all the math, but 2,000 gold worth of ectos, which I think is 4,000 ectos. I spent all of those on boxes, and I opened all the boxes, and I got like 900 gold worth of infusions. So I got 2 infusions. And so, effectively, I lost 1,100 gold, like liquid gold. I'm like, alright, well, gambling. I did not go well. Dracker. I opened 50k boxes. I got a Dragon Void, 3 boots, and 2 Bloom infusions. I opened 700k boxes. 700k! I got a chalk and a music box. Sounds like you lost money. Hey Mike, how have you been? What's up, Idris? I'm doing great. I'm like, hi, main quest. Is there any way to get more wisp infusions after you got the first one? None I know of. You're talking about the wayward wisp? It, like, flies around you, I think? None that I know of. I don't gamble. If Lady Luck wants to bless me, she knows where I live. Lady Luck is my wife. Stay away from my wife. Funny to see you in squad. How you doing today? What's up, Necros? Just beating on dragon toenails and chatting. Easy. Hey, Mike, how you been? I'm good. Is Thief a good profession? It's as good as any other. I mean, Thief can play in many different ways. You got Daredevil, you got Deadeye, you got Spectre, you got Base Thief. Pretty soon you got Antiquary. And so it's got a lot of stuff, so. The real question is just, do you enjoy the sound of any of those things? Mug slap, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. The inflection on that Antiquary is suspect? I don't know what you mean. Soon you can have an excuse to shout "Scrit, I'm hit." Grab an EMP. What up, Dracker? Yeah, this guy is really funny to fight while you've got the bobblehead elixir on, because he, his head takes up like the whole room. If you ever get the opportunity. Mark, did they unveil anything at PAX? So you say they. I mean, a ton of people were showing off what they've been working on at PAX. That was a whole section with like 50 indie devs. So do you want to be more specific? If you mean ArenaNet, no, they weren't at PAX. Hey Mike, when do the plushies go up for sale again? The next one's coming out. We are, so I don't know if you're gonna be interested in this, but I'm just answering your question here. Is next Tuesday, we are aiming to have a commercial go out for a plushie based on the mascot of this channel. And this is him right here. And his hood is a separate thing, so it can be adjusted as much as you want, and the bottle is Velcroed to his hand, so it can be pulled out of his hand. So this one is coming next Tuesday. Hopefully some of you like it. After that, in order to do more Guild Wars 2 themed plushies, I am waiting on ArenaNet to give me permission. And I have been for 2 months, but I did do a friendly reminder while I was at their thing in person. Hopefully I wasn't being too annoying. I asked if I could, I basically told them again, like, hey, I'd really love to do this. I could do some amazing things. I just need a piece of paper that says Mukluk can do whatever he wants, but we get half the money or something. Is there a minimum or maximum limit for the plushie? For any of the plushies that I am doing through Makeship, they have a minimum of 200 have to be ordered minimum to do production. Otherwise, it's not financially worth it to them to do it. There's no maximum on this one, but the original plushie had a max of 1,000 because ArenaNet gave me permission to make 1,000. However, we ended up reaching like 800, so that wasn't an issue. Now, I would guess that this next one coming out next Tuesday is going to do less than that, just because the original plushie, the Asura one, it was bought by people who were fans of me, but it was also bought by people that were fans of Guild Wars 2, even if they didn't like me. This one is pretty much just a me thing. So it's like, if it's a Venn diagram, it's got one less section on it. So we'll see, but as long as there's at least 200, it will happen. If there's less than that, then everyone gets refunded. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Muck wants that Ron Swanson paper. Yeah, I really do, The thing is like, real talk, they don't need me to do this. They could have someone work on plushies full time. What I'm offering them is I will do all the work with them and handle everything, but then they can just like take half the money. They just have to hit the I approve stamp. That's it. So I'm basically saying, look, if you give me permission, I'll still like get you to approve everything, and I'll take all the work off your plate, and then you guys would get paid too. And you know, I just want to do, because like, yeah, I would make a little bit of money from it, but I would also just have a lot of fun. Like, I want to make a tiny Blish and a baby Aureen and a Chibi Tybalt with an apple and some Elementalist character with a Velcro on Revive icon on their forehead because they go downstate all the time. Maybe it could be Loranity. Maybe it could be like Sin from Guild Wars 1. Glob of Ectoplasm Stress Ball. Like, I have so many ideas that would be fun. I just need the green light. And in all the years of Guild Wars 2 so far, the only plushies they've done is a Ritlock, a Siege Turtle, and then I think a limited time they did a Quaggan. How can I buy the new X-Pack with your link? I'll put it in the chat right now, and I thank you for using it. Muck, who is your hero? I missed that stream. My hero? Wait, what? What do you mean? I bought 2 because I pressed buy twice by mistake. You also pressed "Are you sure?" twice by mistake. Dude, I saw, like, when I was at the Seattle meetup, there was, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 people that were there that had, they were carrying around Asura plushies. And a couple of them had me sign them, which meant the world to me. There was actually one. Does the plush ship to EU? Yeah. The plushies are, unless something changes, all plushies made by Makeship are $30 US. And then there's an $8 fee for worldwide shipping. Hang on a sec. Let me find... This it? All right, this is it. This is really cool. All right, so this is Gerard at ArenaNet. His character name is Essence of Luck. If you guys have hung out on any streams, you might have seen him stop by and say hi. And he had a Mimuk, and he had me sign it while we were there. And that was really flattering. It's like he spent his money on that, and he's like, I'm gonna put this in the office. And there was a handful of people there that had me like sign and stuff like that. That's not the Mulan picture. It's not. I asked everybody. I was like, hey, you want me to you know, be proper or be goofy? And I let them pick. Like this guy, he picked to be goofy. So I did that to everyone who wanted it. But there was a handful of people. Let me see. Like this gal, she had one attached to her purse. She was awesome. And then this lady, she had one. She was big Asura energy too. There was another couple. I don't remember where their picture is. There was another couple, and they had 2. They both had one. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys got 2. And they're like, yeah, his and hers. Now we don't fight over them. I was like, wow, that's awesome. Thank you for the support. Yeah, there was quite a few people there who had them. Essence is really good. Yes. I will say, Essence looks nothing like their female char. I didn't even know Essence was a guy. I just assumed, I was like, oh, female character. It's a female dev. And then Gerard's like, hello. I'm like, whoa, okay. I had that wrong. How long do we have to order one? We can, like, if it's going strong, we can extend the order window. So basically the way it works is there's a period of time at Makeship where you can order one. And then at the end of that time, they just count it, right? And they're just like, okay, we've got 300 orders. Then they make 300 exactly, so they have no extras, and then they ship them out, right? So if we extend how long people have to order it, everything else is delayed also, which can be worth it, can be not. We did not do any delays on the Asura one. It was kind of, you know, losing steam there at the end, so we just ended it at the time. And I think there was like 3 weeks or a month that people could order it. Then they did production and shipping. So it would be something like that for the Minion starting next week. When do you cancel or announce with Green Flag? When, like, one, I would be very loud about it. If you follow me on Discord or Twitter or Blue Sky or Facebook or any of those, my camera's out of focus, I would be very loud about the updates and what's going on because, you know, I just really enjoy messing with this. However, once, you know, anytime there is progress on your order, you would get an email. You would get an email in your inbox at whatever email address you put on the order. Thank you for the link. Just got the new X back. Awesome. I just got back from a long break. I have no clue what it's about. Well, I hope you enjoy it. It definitely had some really good points. Why, yes, I also look like a 10-foot tall Valkyrie. I'm 6 foot exactly. Wait, what? Spam. No. Like, this gal, she was, shorter than a lot of the people there. And I unconsciously did the scrunch. I felt bad about it. You know that thing that's like how to talk to short people and it's like, do not squat down? This was completely subconscious, so I'm a horrible human being. But there was absolutely some people there. Like this guy, we were both bending our knees slightly here, but this guy was tall. This is Niavalar, by the way. He's here all the time. But yeah, I'm like 6 foot on the line. I'm apparently taller than a Choya. There was a good, let's see. This is me with Snebzor. We're not both standing up straight, but he might be just slightly taller than me. And then, where was... Oh, that's me with Roy Marks. So we're pretty close. Both of our hair is kind of windy right there. Yeah, I saw a few people y'all would recognize. I wish I had gotten a picture with every partner that was there. But it's like, I didn't want to interrupt if they were talking to someone. And also, if I was talking to someone, I was, busy. And I saw Jebro there, Jebro Unity. I saw Emmy.exe. I saw Malcolmus there. And I didn't manage to get pictures with them. There was also a few other brand new partners that I did not manage to get pictures with. There was some I did. Hold on, there's a picture I'm looking for. These two are new ANET partners. They represent a group called Guild Wars 2 University. They do a lot of like helping new players and stuff like that. So I met them there. They were super nice. And then of course this is going to be a treasured photo for me. This was me with the staff. Like it was at the end. The hall was starting to clear out. And I went over to David, and David was constantly being like, is there anything else we could do for you? Like, he was really trying to make sure I was happy. And I was like, yo, I would love to get a picture with you and a picture with Ruby before I leave. Just because they were running all over the place for like 3 hours trying to keep everything going smoothly, right? And he's like, sure. Now, I meant a picture with him, and then also a picture with Ruby. I wasn't trying to like, everyone come here right now. I demand it, And he's like, hey, Ruby, come here. And I'm like, oh, I'll get a picture with both of them at the same time. And then Ruby's like, everyone, come on. And then like 2 or 3 people come over and we get this picture. And my wife is taking the picture and she's like, okay. And she keeps having to back up to get everyone in frame because more people keep coming over. And then after a few seconds, this happened and she's like, are you kidding me? I could hear her like quietly cussing to herself because she was just like back up to get this photo. But like all of them came running over and we got this picture. So I'm definitely, might need to frame this one. But I now know the names of like half the people in this photo. But it was pretty great. It was pretty great. Picture to frame, yeah. Who is who? Oh gosh, I think that's Amy. I met her day of. That's Darkbringer. We see him in chat a lot. David, Roy, me, Ruby. I think that's another Amy. Chloe, Kent. He works on writing. Josh Grouch Davis. He's a director, I think. Logan. I met him that day. He works on backgrounds. He most recently has been working on the environment for Push, Travis, and I don't remember what department Travis is in. I know Travis and Kent used to be QA, and Kent is now a writer. I don't know what Travis is now. Isn't that Grouch on the left side? Wait, is that Grouch? Did I get this guy mixed up? Hang on. Grouch looks so different. Hold on. Enhance. I can't read it. Maybe that's Grouch. You might be right. Grouch looks so different when he takes off his glasses. Okay, if that's Grouch, then I'm not sure who this one is yet. And then that's Gerard, who's Essence of Luck on the far right. And then that's a photo bomber. Yeah. Plushie barely hanging on my shoulder. He was up there for like 5 hours. Yeah, dude. It was great. It was awesome. Got to feel like a celebrity for one evening. Matthew Medina on the far left, I think. Matthew Medina on the far left. That one right there. Yeah, I think they're... hold on. I had a picture where Grouch ran up and took a picture, and I didn't realize it was Grouch till he ran away. I think it was this one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can see the name tag in this one. Oh my gosh. Too much enhance. Hang on. Yeah, Josh Grouch Davis, game director. Okay, that's Grouch. He looks so different without his glasses. Yeah, that's Grouch. All right, you were right. The name tags helped a lot. I'm tired, boss. The plushie, yeah. Did you manage to stick to your limit to do no more than 3 cokes a day with all the extra running around? Yes, but part of that was because of my accessibility to cokes. I mean, running all over Seattle, I didn't necessarily have instant access to caffeine, but I got some when I could. Like, for example, when I got on the plane intending to sleep on the plane, and I was able to take a few small naps, but I maybe got an hour or two of sleep on the plane, and it was a 5-hour flight. And when I finally decided, okay, this isn't working, I'm going to need to stay awake the rest of the day, I asked one of the flight attendants for a Coke, because they had, like, a cart, and I got one. And then I might have had one, let's see. Oh, at Arena HQ, they had like their break room. I wish they let us take pictures. Their break room was insane. They had like, you know, fruits and candy bars and like 3 fridges that were full of like sodas and stuff like that, and waters and juices. And it was just like, take whatever you want. And they basically, at the end of the tour, they said, you know, grab anything you want. And so I grabbed a Coke there to kind of top off. And then at dinner, I was going to get one, but that restaurant title that I told you guys about that was freaking terrible, they didn't have Cokes. Among other things. They actually treat their employees right. Oh, dude, you would get, like, I would get so fat working there. They had so much free sugary snacks and drinks and stuff like that. It was basically, you take whatever you want, just keep working. Ivar's had, like, a Seattle Cola. Yeah, Ivar's, when we were at Ivar's. Hi, honey, by the way, Lady Lux in chat. Ivar's had, I was like, do you guys have Coke? Because I wasn't sure if they had Pepsi products. And they were like, oh, we have, like, Hobo Coke. And I'm like, okay, I'll just have water. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to pay $3 for a restaurant soda and not know if I'm going to like it. You said first I was going to say they're all kind of... Sand, that's rude and also not true. Treat the employees right, yeah. When I was in tech support, our boss had free sodas in the fridge. And then there was a period of time where he was like, I'm going to get you guys living healthy. And he stopped the sodas and just added fruit. And everybody, like, kind of had sugar and caffeine deprivation. And we were all, like, snapping at each other and fighting a lot. And then he put the sodas back. He put them back. He was like, all right, this is a mistake. the nerds are unpowered. I wish I went. I was very busy because I'm moving. I would have loved to take some pics with the other partners, Streets of the Devs face to face. Is this been a yearly thing? It's apparently a yearly thing. There was actually, I think, 2 or 3 couples that were there. This was out of hundreds of people that said, we're only here because of you. And I'm like, do you mean like I got you into the game? And they're like, no, you said that there was a Seattle event and we had no idea. And I was like, really? I was like, well, I just learned about it too. They're like, yeah, we watch your videos and you mentioned the Seattle event. And we're like, what? And they lived in Seattle and they had no idea there was a yearly Guild Wars 2 event. So they came because I mentioned it in a video. So that was kind of neat. And then I met a handful of people that picked up Guild Wars 2 because of my videos. That was also nice. Gilrod says, hi, I started a few days ago to play Guild Wars 2. To gather the hero points in the last map of Heart of Thorns, do I need the meta event? Yes, Gilrod. The last map in Heart of Thorns, one of my favorites personally, is this right here. And it's kind of like there's a group of people that will push down these 3 lanes. And then once all 3 lanes are pushed, there's a big boss fight here. Once the boss is defeated, the whole map is kind of safe with... There's a few little things running around, but it's mostly safe, which gives you the freedom to run around and just map it out really quickly. You've got like 15 minutes before the map resets, which is for the most part plenty of time. But yeah, any parts of the map that you can't reach while it is you know, in conflict, you just got to join a map doing the meta and you can get the whole thing done. That's community manager failure. Maybe. Like, I'm trying to think of where all do they have reached. I know that they announced the community meetup on Twitter or X. I'm trying to remember because I legitimately do not recall if they posted it everywhere else, which for them would be their forums, a blog post, Blue Sky, Facebook. I already mentioned X. I don't think it's big enough that they would want it to be a pop-up in-game because 99% of their audience is not going to be in range of Seattle. So those would be the things that I consider to be their reach. And then, of course, there's people like me that are just content creators that can also kind of hit the metaphorical retweet button. You can't say it like that, Muck. It has to be peach, otherwise it's not Muck approved. Okay. They announced it on Blue Sky for sure, but only like once or twice. I did see it on the forums. Okay, so that's a few of them. How does this build keep up quickness so easily? I mean, I think you've seen my video on this, Bertree, but basically anytime I do an ambush, which is like unleash pet, unleash self, hit 1, it does quickness. But then if you're in combat, you can weapon swap and hit 1 again, and it does another ambush, because the ambush resets on weapon swap. So every 10 seconds, you unleash pet, and then unleash self, ambush, weapon swap, ambush. And then it will throw quickness and 10 stacks of might all around you. So as long as you're in combat, it's incredibly easy to keep a lot of boons rolling on all the folks that are nearby. Untamed is one of the funnest, easiest, quick classes. Keep up quick, it just feels smooth to play. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's why I played a lot in open world. Plus, with the maces specifically, it's not the highest, if you want highest DPS, I think it's spear and hammer. But hammer and maces is a lot of self-sustain also, because the ambush does lifesteal, and also the maces do barrier and stability and Condi cleanse on self and regen and vigor and a ton of CC. So they help you stay alive in like hairy moments. Muck, do you need fireworks runes to keep up quick with that build? What am I using? Runes? I am using Rune of the Fireworks. So you do need a little bit of boon duration. I'm getting some from Rune of the Fireworks. Got Relic of the Claw. And I think the rest is coming from Nature Magic trait line. Gives 240 concentration right there. So, is it possible to get rid of the Rune of Fireworks? Maybe. I don't specifically have that test, ready to pull out and give to you. But I'm using concentration from this, and I guess concentration from those runes. But I'm using full Zerker. So I'm not having to use, like, Diviner's gear for that concentration. And also, I've got 21k health, so whereas if you've got, like, my forever example Weaver in full Zerker would be, like, around 11k without a Jade Core. So you got nearly double the health of them just because of the class. Even though I'm in full Berserker. Gotcha, thanks. Sure.
Thank you for the great content as always, Muck. Good luck with the farming.
Thank you for the resub. Appreciate the support. Yeah, I like doing open world events when we're having a lot of conversation with chat because I can kind of half focus on it until things get hairy. Making money for giveaways and can just talk with you guys. Fireworks lets you overcap, which is always nice, because if you're ever in like a real group situation, there's going to be moments where someone's not in range of, like, you do quickness, they're not in range for quickness, then you do quickness again. And overcapping a little is always nice so that they are able to keep quickness if they have to, like, run off to do some weird job. If they've got to go run a red circle out of the group or something. Yum, that was dumb. What are you saving Heart of Connor for? I don't know. It's the first time I've ever gotten a Heart of Connor. It's got a little bit of sentimental value. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll give it away someday. The only other time I held a Heart of Connor before that, it ended up being hacked and the guy got banned. Freaking Casiano. I'll take it off for you for free. I'll never ask for purple balls again. Yeah. One, why are you interested in it? It's not purple balls. And two, yes you would. I go to Seattle if my visa application wasn't denied. Sand, you have lied so much in my chat. I don't know if you're just making things up. This is kind of a boy who cried wolf situation. I never lie. Okay, you troll so much. Like your visa application, you might mean that you weren't eligible for a credit card. You can hack a con. Could. There was, and I tell you this story, like, if I know of an active glitch that you could still abuse, I don't tell you guys. Because that would make the game's economy worse. I stay quiet about it until it's fixed, then I might share the story. This is one such occasion where it's been fixed and I'm telling you the story. There was a guy who figured out how to dupe, you know, like duplicate an item. So he got a con and somehow turned it into a stack. 250 con-ers. And then he got a queen bee and turned it into a stack of queen bees. Sold some of them, got a confetti, made a stack of confettis, on and on and on. So he had over 250 of every rare infusion in the game as a result of being able to do this. Long story very, very short, he got caught, banned, and all of the stuff that was illegitimate they removed from the game economy as best as they could. But if it was going to really screw, like if there was someone, and honestly, props to ArenaNet for this, okay? Let's say there was someone who spent their real hard-earned gold to buy something from this guy. My understanding is they let those stay in the game because they didn't want to punish the victims. So even though some of those items were generated illegitimately, they left some of them in so the people that bought them were not, like, you know, cheated out of it. There was also a bunch that had been donated to as like giveaways for a charity stream that someone was doing. Someone might remember who it was that was doing it. And the people that were running it was another ANET partner, I can't recall which one. And the people that were running it were like, okay, this would really suck, but do we need to turn these over? And they had a couple of infusions that had been donated by the guy. And ArenaNet said, no, you can keep them for the charity giveaway. And they didn't have to do that. And I really think it's awesome that they did. But all the ones that were just like the massive stockpile that was worth like $1 billion gold in his bank, they, you know, nuked all that. There was also that weird thing where the cost of Mystic Coins went down by half overnight because he apparently had like 10,000 buy orders in for Mystic Coins at like double the price. So he had like... he had basically doubled the cost of Mystic Coins for like the entire player base because of that buy order. And no one realized he had done this because it was just, you know, you can't see who's done buy orders. So when he got banned, like the whole economy shifted. It was wild. Glad I had a stun break there. I got hit by a knockback and I was animation locked and I knew I was going to get hit, so I immediately just hit the stun break so I didn't go off the cliff. Rally! Too bad the coins didn't stay down. Well, they're shifting in price more naturally now than they were when that guy was in charge of the price. Let's do quick heal for this one. Was he the same guy? A dev used his character and jumped to his death in Divinity's Reach? No. That story, also a very fun one. The public execution TLDR, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there was a guy who was caught cheating in the game, and a dev at that time recorded him logging into the guy's account, logging into the character, stripping all of his gear off in Lion's Arch and deleting it. Divinity's Reach, jumping off of a building, and he died when he hit the ground. And then, he waved goodbye, then jumped, died, logged out to character select, deleted all the characters, and logged off. And then posted the video online. And a lot of people were like, this is so inappropriate. And I was like, this is hilarious. Please publicly shame cheaters more. They only did it once, and I think the guy might have gotten reprimanded for doing it, because it wasn't very, PC to do that. But yeah, there's an old video of a guy who got a public execution essentially from the game. But no, that was in like the vanilla version of Guild Wars 2. That was like before the expansions, I think. The thing with the duper was just like a couple years ago. Not professional, but hilarious. Yeah, I like the Guild Wars 1 Doom bans. Yeah, so for those that don't know, Doom is a character that for a time is kind of like the Grim Reaper in the game, and even has a huge scythe. And if you got banned in Guild Wars 1, even if you were in town, which is a safe zone, Doom would come out of the ground behind you and swing his scythe and reap your character. And then you would get logged out and you were banned. So there's a few videos, a few grainy videos floating around of that online. Honestly, the economy of Guild Wars 2 is pretty healthy. I'm thinking about a French game called Dofus that's completely destroyed every time by cheaters and bots. There's a few things they do in the game to help with that. And first of all, I want to say, I know it's not perfect, but having come from other games like World of Warcraft and Black Desert Online and stuff like that, it is really good, okay? So in this game, couple of things that they do. One, people on free-to-play accounts cannot mail anyone they want. People on free-to-play accounts have limited use of the trading post. Okay, those things right there filter out a lot of people that mess with bots because they would have to pay for an account every single time. There are still some that do it, but it's not all. The next thing is the gems to gold thing. They kind of filter out a lot of the people who would want to make a website where like you could spend money and buy gold, because they have it themselves in the game. The official game has a way to do that, so why go through some sketchy third-party person? So that filters out a lot of the third-party folks. And then, on top of that, it's like, okay, well, now the game has play to win, right? Well, no, because the game itself has... it doesn't have, like, most endgame equipment on the trading post. So being able to buy gold is mostly for, like, fashion. So it does have turn money to gold through official channels, but then it doesn't have a way to pay to win with it very well. So it's like a lot of these little decisions add up to create a system that people that are, like, gold sellers and hackers and cheaters don't want to deal with. It's not worth their time. And it works out quite nice for us because we have, yes, there are some, but there's anyone here who's played WoW or BDO can tell you there's a lot less of it in this game, like 95% less. And it's all those little decisions on how they made the game that filters that stuff out. There's probably some others as well, but those are just off the top of my head. Gen 1 Legis. Generation 1 Legis can be traded. That is completely true. But if you've got a new player who logs into the game and he's like, my dad owns oil, and then he just slams down $1,000, what has he got? He's got some exotic gear, he probably got the wrong stats on it, and one endgame weapon, and he's still going to die in one hit, and it doesn't help in PvP because PvP doesn't use your equipment. So none of the experienced players care because he's not going to win. Like, you're never going to lose a fight in this game because some rich kid spent money. It doesn't work that way. But if you want to slam down $1,000 and fashion the hell out of yourself and support the developer that makes this game we all like, most people are like, hell yeah, do it. Why pay for less game? I'm similar as well. Like, that would be for like a boost, right? So like, if you, in I don't even know a long list of games that have it, but I'm gonna say WoW because I know WoW has it. Like World of Warcraft, you know, you can pay for the game, like you buy the box or you know the metaphorical box, then you buy the subscription, then you would pay for maybe a boost, which would be like another $50, $60 to get your character to max level. And in my mind, it's like you're paying to skip the game. I definitely am not pro that. I definitely do not understand that mindset of like paying to boost past content. That's definitely not me. That has definitely messed me up before. Like, let me give you an example of one time where you could say it messed me up. When I tried Final Fantasy XIV, everybody I talked to, which there might be some people here with differing opinions, but a lot of the folks I talked to were like, don't play the base story. Skip to Heaven's Dagger or something, I don't know. They were like, skip to this one, that's when it gets good. And I'm like, I don't want to skip. And so I was like, I'm going to play it in order. And then I started playing it in order, and after 12 hours, I was like, this is terrible. And I left. I didn't like it. Maybe I would have had a better time if I had skipped to Heaven's Nunchucks. I don't know. But I played it in order because I don't like skipping stuff. And I ended up not really enjoying it. But, you know, for most games, it gives you a better picture of the story. So I don't want to skip around. Nice. The problem with WoW is the new player experience absurd. Yeah, at this point, like, I saw a video recently that a guy did on, I think it was either Preach or someone else. Oh, wait, no, it was Bellular. Bellular did this really nice video on the new player experience, and it was crazy, because, like, the way that, like, when you level, in a lot of these newer zones, you level up, and so a lot of the mobs level up, but the amount of strength that you gained is not equal to the amount of strength that they gained, proportionally. So, like, when you go into a new expansion, maybe you're killing mobs in 2 hits, but then you gain a few levels, and now you're struggling to kill them at all. And it's just, and, like, the person that they had doing this was, like, an experienced player, and they knew it was up. So they had to go, like, buy a bunch of better gear. It's like, they had bracers with plus 10 strength, and they had to go to the trading post to get bracers with plus 10,000 strength. Because, like, the way the numbers jumped for each level was absurd. Didn't Elon Musk boast about his gaming skills and it was found out he paid for the account? I don't know if he paid for the account. What I do know is that there was one time where he was live on TV standing next to Trump, and people pointed out that his account, which already was kind of suspect, was logged in and playing while he was live on TV. So it was crystal clear, undeniably, that someone else was sometimes playing it. Now, did he buy it? Did he hire someone else to level it? I don't know. But it was 100% crystal clear that someone else had access to it. That was not deniable. Because he was live. Execution video from the cheater Monk mentioned before. Oh yeah, I knew it was around somewhere. I just didn't go looking for it. And that's it. This was like in vanilla. And I think that's hilarious. Quite a few folks like they were like, this dev was inappropriate. He went too far. Yeah, I wish devs did this more often. Now, obviously, I hope that they're 100% sure the person was a cheater before they do something like that. But if they are 100% sure, and it's like, it's not even debatable, like maybe like someone was streaming and they saw this guy flying around PvP or something, please do. Do it. Do it. I laugh. Let's see. Is it the joint statute of Divinity's reach? That's because he was spending his money in the wrong place. Now he wants to give his money to me and make one kill. Yeah, sure. Pretty sure they can revert deleting characters anyway. Yeah, probably. I mean, if you're on the server side, they got a lot of power. Like they do rollbacks when they have to. So there's no way devs can do this nowadays because it promotes a certain unhealthy action. I mean, they could do it without the jumping off the cliff bit, right? They could just like take the character, delete it, and then post it. But the thing is, like, there's probably dozens, if not hundreds, of people every weekend that are caught doing something sus that are silently taken care of. They can't release a video for each one, you know? But if there's like a really well-known one, I think it would be hysterical. Just to have the recording of it being deleted. And that's it. Hey, Heisen, what's up? We need Doom Band back. We were talking about that earlier, when Doom would hit people with the scythe in Guild Wars 1. Yeah, we talked about that a little while ago. Have the character, not Char. Have the character jump into Mount Maelstrom instead. Gold is character based then too, right? So even if you count Wizardly, that gold was? Was it? I don't remember. I did play the game at launch. I cannot remember if currency was account-based, or was character-based at some point. But you know what I do remember is the original trait system. I can remember that one. GW2 original trait system. Let me find a picture. Yeah, I remember this. For the newbie noobs, this is how the traits used to look. You'd put points into them, and then that would determine how far you could go, and then you would make selections within these things. And there were these book things you would get that would unlock stuff. This is back in the day. And of course, now we've got this. Yeah, this was at launch. Kind of like Guild Wars 1. There was a little bit of overlap, but it certainly wasn't the same as Guild Wars 1. But I would say this is probably doing a good job for what it is. It's easier to understand, I think, for people that are new. You guys struggle? No, it was fine. There used to be a fall damage reduction trait. I miss it. I fell off cliff so much. Oh, dude, don't forget the old PvP lobby. Yeah, I remember. Okay, falling off cliffs. One funny thing with that. All right, so chat, you know how right now, if you jump off a cliff and you're gonna take lethal damage, you skip downstate. That used to not be true. I specifically have a memory when I was playing that human engineer you guys have seen on my character select screen, and I was running around Ore. And Ore has got lots of cliffs. And I was like, oh man, I'm up here, I need to get down there. And I would make sure there was no enemies down there, and I would just jump, splat, hit downstate, and then bandage myself back up. And then I would be so upset if something started attacking me. But anytime you had to get from high to low, you just find an area with no mobs, just splatter onto the ground and bandage yourself up, because you would just go to downstate and then you could bandage as long as nothing hit you. They changed that. Reminds me of the old runes of League of Legends. Oh, I use those. Oh, League of Legends runes. Hang on. These, yeah. This was in the era I played. I remember these. I forgot all the fall damage reduction traits. Yeah, there was some weird one. Like Warrior had one where if they were falling and they passed the threshold to take fall damage, they would smash into the ground and it would damage people around them. Rangers had one where the moment they impacted the ground, it would turn the terrain around them to mud. It would cast the Muddy Terrain skill, which would like cripple and slow and immobilize people all around them. And there was a bunch of others as well, but they were so useful in such niche situations. They got rid of a lot of them. I remember saving up karma and buy Armageddon armor from Ara vendors to look like a badass. Remember engineer regen rest stops? Yes. What was the cause? I think it was that regen would stack up for like, what was it, minutes? Maybe 10 minutes? Like if the regen boon now stacks up to like 60 seconds. I think it used to stack up to like 10 minutes or something. So engineers would sometimes put down like a healing turret and go AFK, and it would keep pulsing regen, and a bunch of people would crowd around it to build up like minutes of regeneration, and then run off and adventure, and things would be a little easier because they had regen constantly ticking. But you know, these days, like all boons stack up to, well, they've got different maximums, but none of them are over a minute. The only time I used fall damage reduction was jumping puzzles. That's a good time for it. There was a bug with a Mesmer fall damage trait in one update. It turned into a Strat in World v. World to fall damage bomb groups taking keeps. Oh my god. Pre-launch, there was also a different dye system where you had to combine colors into a dye. That sounds realistic, but annoying in gameplay. That's some Kingdom Come Deliverance stuff. Are you gonna play the new PoE 2 update? Not immediately, because I'm in the middle of too many games right now, and I don't want to pause one of those. I want to finish what we're doing before we move on. So I would like to, but it's not going to be immediate. Same with Silksong. Silksong comes out in 2 days. I'll probably be working on like what we're already in the middle of and come back to Silksong. I remember people trying and dying all the time at the Vista Point in Lion's Arch, where you have to borrow a rocket launcher to propel yourself. I remember that I used the electric ball from Elementalist and felt proud of it. Silksong 2 days? I think Silksong's in 2 days. Yeah, as always, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's in 2 days. Hang on. Yes, it's 2 days. It's September 4th. So, Thursday. Yep. There was, hold on. So there's a lot of indie games that have announced that they are going to delay the release date so that it doesn't coincide with Silksong. And one of them, called Little Witch in the Woods, released this this image, the shadow of Silksong standing over them, and they're like, so we're gonna delay our release because we're gonna die. Because their release date was going to be like right by September 4th, and they're like, all right, so we're gonna push it back. Even the hat's crying. But yeah, there's a lot of indie devs that are like, you know what, it would be, you know, it would be suicide to do it right now. We're gonna wait. First half of 2026 is also dead because of GTA 6. I don't care about GTA 6. You won't see me in that. I will do Silksong at some point. That's the Shadow of Hornet? Yeah, I know. That's the Silksong shadow. I remember doing the JP and Silver Race without any Monster Glider. That was insane. Spent there like 5 hours taking breaks. Their games got Silksonged. Yup. Alright, chat, you've been awesome. I love talking with y'all. I got some stuff to do. I gotta call my dad back, who called me in the middle of the stream, and chat with him for a bit. Thank you guys for a wonderful morning. I hope y'all had fun here. As always, if you're new, my name is Muck. I stream every evening and every weekday morning. I'll be back in about 5 hours for the evening stream. We'll be doing Guild Wars on the NA servers. We'll be doing the weekly giveaway and probably some Dawn of War after to continue working on finishing up that playthrough. If you're on the Twitch side of things, I'll raid someone in just a minute just to support someone within the Guild Wars 2 section. And let me see who we have got live. I'm looking right there. I see Zeppla. Zepla's okay. I've chatted with her once or twice. It is so awesome to see all these people here, but I don't know almost any of them. The longer I wait, the more people leave. All right, we'll get Zeppla, I guess. We'll get Zeppla. Maybe try someone new after tonight. Let's see. Raid Zeppla HQ. All right. As always, get your raid emotes ready. Whatever they are, you can use mine or someone else's. I'll see you guys over there, and I will be back later tonight. Oh, she's seeing Morgemouth for the first time. I love it.
Man.
All right. See ya.
Did we